And welcome to FSBRacing.com. Special event time here at FSB as we get ready for the regular season to kick off in July, but we're still doing some special events, and this is a very special one. This is called the King of the Hill. It's 4 races, short races, 4 disciplines, we'll call it: speedway, super speedway, road course, short track, and the King of the Hill will be the one that accumulates the most points out of these 4 individual races. And Matty Watkins is our 2-time defending champion right now. And as we found out looking back through the history of the King of the Hill, no one has won it 3 times in a row. So Matt trying to make some history here at FSB Racing. And I should be joined very shortly by expert driver, expert FSBer, Milt Mintner Jr.
Hey, what's up, Greg?
Hey,
what's
Milty.
up, race fans? The King of the Hill, something that's gone on for a long time and has been brought to FSB from other leagues. A great sim racing tradition, and like you were saying, no 3-time winners. There was a couple thoughts that maybe some guys that have run it before might show up from the other leagues, but and sign up with FSB, but that hasn't happened. But we got a star-studded field
Yes, we do,
of FSB drivers here, and all these guys are really good at all the disciplines of racing. And you know, just talking about, like, you know, your defending champ, 2-time defending champ, Matt Watkins. He can road race, he can short track, he can super speedway, and he can cookie cutter. And hell, you know, this is a tough challenge to start out here. This is the old Homestead
Milty,
track.
absolutely.
It's not the PWF, which we're used to seeing on TV and running our league for years. You got to be long a tooth like myself to have run this in this league way back in the day. So
Absolutely, Milty. This is the flat, old, original Homestead, which was a very flat track. I believe 6 degrees of banking in the corners, which is virtually none, and 3 degrees down the straight, which is, again, virtually none. So this is a driver's track, Milty. You're going to have to pedal the car around these corners. You're going to have to float it and let it roll through the centers of these corners. And guys who are impatient are going to really pay the price here with the 4X Racing. That is the King of the Hill, Milty. So we should be in for a very interesting mix of fast guys that might burn up tires and patient guys that might fall off the pace at the first but come roaring back. And I think all of these races will feature a minimum of 1 pit stop as well. So the wear and fuel usage can come into play in these short races, Milt.
yeah, and this is like you know, the knockout stage of the World Cup. Goal, and you know, you got to win the first one, and really that's how it goes. In my experience in this race, the first year was my best chance to win this, and I had a shot at it going into like the 3rd race, and you know, I had problems the 3rd race and 4th race, but you know, and it's unbeknownst until right before the race what tracks are run. So these guys, they've been, you know, like the road course, we all, you know, we practiced, you know, Watkins Glen. Of course, you know, the race can be at Infineon. So
yeah, and that's exactly what happened. And yeah, when I showed up on the server, I was expecting to run some laps at Watkins Glen,
chance, you know.
and it showed up as Infineon. So that's where they'll be racing tonight, at Infineon, for the road course section. I believe we're doing a Talladega NRT 500 track for the super speedway, and I believe he said Richmond is our short track. And we know Richmond, Milty, is not really in the true sense of a word a short track. It's almost a speedway in its speed and how you approach that track. You can't be timid at Richmond or you're going to get left behind. So it's a good mix. We got this Homestead track, which is a real wild card. Then we got the Super Speedway, which is another wild card. So you got really 2 tracks here that a lot of guys, whether you're skilled or not, can sometimes luck and outside factors could play a big role here, as opposed to the usual tracks that we're used to running.
Time to get some.
Driver, to your car.
I think the thing that I looked at the first time I ran here was that, how fast can you adapt? You got this race, you got 10 minutes of practice, then you got to go to the next track, and next track. If you do well, let's say top 5 or so, then you position yourself for the next 3 races, and but then you got to get on there, practice real quick, and get. Normally we have an hour of practice between each session.
That's right.
And,
now we got 10 minutes.
You're going to get 10 minutes, so you got to take a leak. You got to say hi to the wife, whatever you got to do. But you also got to deal with these races and these racers. And
well, Milty, it looks like the guys are queued up here on the track. They're not even doing the full parade laps, Milty, which is usually we do the full parade lap, so you have time to kind of get all your stuff in the car the way you like it, your screens up that you like, and all that stuff. But these are the modified start where they come right onto the front stretch, and these guys will be racing very shortly here as Robert Bokum is on the pole, and his teammate Sean Johnson on the outside pole. And, of course, two-time defending champion Matt Watkins is right in that second row, along with Joe Cutt. Steve Weber, Ken Ron, Alan Myers, your top 6, 7 guys here. So a good mix of pros and rookies in this King of the Hill, Milty. Anyone can do it. If you're in the right place at the right time and drive smart, you can accumulate the points. It's not about winning, it's about point racing in 4 races, and we're off. And Robert Bokum will lead us down.
27 laps. You look at the cream of the crop here, and you look at the results of this year's series, and you look at these guys up front, and you pretty much see top 5 cars all the way through that, and they pretty much lined up to form as they go racing.
Yeah, and quickly scrolling through the field there, Milty, there's the 91 of Ken Shea, Milty, who just helicoptered down into South Florida here as the guys were getting ready to finish up qualifying. So talk about no seat time. Ken Shea is going to have to show his skill tonight. Not that he can't.
Hey, good evening, fellas.
Hey, what's up, Sam?
Yeah, we're joined by Sam Young, who's the admin, of course, of this great spectacle. Thanks for joining us, Sam.
Thank you guys for having me. Yeah, I was talking about Ken Shea. He came in a little bit late, but we're glad to have him. He's going to be a force to contend with, although he has to start in the back on this one. I already see him picking up some spots, so.
Yeah, we see that the top 3 have kind of settled in. Robert Bokum, your pole sitter, is taking command of the race so far, but Matt Watkins moving up to his 4th position.
We got a wreck in the back. It looks like Ken Shea is involved in that.
No, well, and that's yes, he is, and so is the 17 of T-Roy, as they're both getting going again, and no cautions.
Whoever wasn't, there is no cautions. Whoever was in 3rd place has disappeared. We have a person who warped out. That might have been Matt Watkins.
And that was Matty Watkins, I believe.
That if you
actually
line,
no, it was huh.
Smoke everywhere, trying to sort this out.
Yeah.
Robert Bokum leads. Matt Watkins is in 2nd, so it's not him.
No, I believe it was.
I like the 18's chances, and he can road race too.
It was Sean Johnson.
Yeah, I believe it was the 5 of Sean Johnson.
Man.
Who is now showing in 14th place, but not showing out of the race. Maybe he can get back in. I don't know if he'll be able to do it, though. We're on only lap 4 of 27. Races.
So, I mean, it's your, best.
Yeah, he's come back in, so we'll see if we can get back on the track. He'll try to accumulate.
He's going to be a lap down. Yeah, it's going to be tough, but a lot can happen.
Well, a lot can happen
pushing
here.
Pretty hard in the 88 here. Normally we see Joe lie back, but you don't have enough time in these races. You got to go now, boy.
Well, and especially on a track like this, Milty, if this is your strong suit, if this is a track that you feel comfortable and confident on, you got to attack while the iron's hot in these 4 races, because you might run into a track that is not your favorite. So when you have one you like, you got to go to the front and you got to max out your points.
In case you were wondering, maybe there might have been smoke and mirrors and anything else. When you watch an 18 car, you see this guy, he qualifies on pole and he just accelerates and smooth line, cool customer. I mean, you want to know how you get beat, there's that guy, you know, like in the basketball, Mark Jackson, mama, there goes that man, and that's that guy right there.
Yeah, and he's looking good. This is a 4X wear and fuel.
3X.
Or 3X, excuse me. So Robert, is a master of fuel and tire. Let's see. This will test his skills a little more than he's used to. So let's see what happens there, as he's firmly in control of this race so far.
That's the point of the King of the Hill, is that I try to diversify and also try to give you guys these guys some sets they're not used to. These are all experts. These are not sets they're used to. They're geared a little bit different. They turn different than we're used to. These guys are used to very, very extreme Pro Cup sets that are very, very loose. These are right in between. And you're going to find that some of these guys are going to have trouble with the expert set. And the idea is to throw them a curve. I do this race and this competition to make it as tough as possible. If you're going to be the king of the hill, you got to earn it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We appreciate the shit out of it, and I wish I could have run. I just got too many things going on. I could disappear at any time here in the broadcast because I'm washing clothes. I'm getting ready. I'm going to San Francisco about 3 in the morning. So, but we appreciate the hell out of this. This is a fantastic competition and test of the driver medal from top to bottom. Improvise, adapt, overcome. It's a great thing you've brought to our league here, Sam.
Thanks. You know, this was actually what we started back in the day in open racing. Back when Sierra first opened up with this game, Sierra had the open servers, and everybody had a server, and you'd go into Open Speedway or my old place called EDD Racing, and you'd come in there for these sprints. You didn't come in for any kind of league racing. This was the way it was, always open sprints, and that's where the King of the Hill was formed out of, open sprint racing.
I'm looking at this top 7 here. I'm thinking you're doing exactly what you want to do. You're going to have to make a stop here. This will be one pit stop, no, Sam?
One pit stop, and I would always
14
recommend. You always want to pit right in the middle, around 13 or 14.
So you want to do that, execute, and get a top 5 out of this, and put yourself in the position to stay up in the top of the points. No. Now the first. Also, explain to the viewers here what happens to the first 3 finishers of this race.
Well, the first 3 finishers of each one of the races from this point forward will have to start in the back, so they'll be handicapped. They will be asked to not qualify. If they do, then they'll be submitted to the back, so we'll make sure they get to the back. But that's the rule, and the reason for that, of course, is to give these other guys a chance, give them all a chance. And this is the way the late model series will be running this season. The top 2 will not be allowed to qualify in the following week's race. So, trying to bring handicap short track racing into the picture here. Yeah,
it's a good old throwback to the old Saturday nights at the local short track, Sam, and I do like that. Yeah, we do see some guys early pitting. That's probably a mistake here with the 3X, but T-Roy and Ken Shea. Yeah, T-Roy and Ken Shea both in, but they may have used up some equipment there, and spinning and tire wear at 3X is dramatic. So they may have had to come in early and pay the price. But right now, Joe Cutt getting around Matt Watkins for second, and that's something I'm not used to saying, is someone getting around the great Matt Watkins. But Joe Cutt just did it like a true pro. He just bided his time. Saw Matt slip up just a bit, and now Matt's saying, you know what, Joe, second.
That was nice for a second.
Yeah, enjoyed second, didn't you? But I'm going to take that back real quick here.
Well, you know, experience is everything for this type of criteria that you're dealing with here. And we also see another greatly experienced driver. He's really got a shot at this, the 6 of Mark DeCinza. For years, the king of the hill at CCR Racing, and is coming here and is a championship driver with Boca Motorsports. And he'll be on one of the Boca Motorsports teams for next year. I think team number 1. So.
That's right, and yeah, he's made some nice gains here. He's up to 4th. Again, right where he needs to be for coming up on these first pit stops. Guys are coming in. There's T-Roy. There we see Ken Shea went a lap down during his pit stop, but if he can keep those tires on there for the rest of the race, he won't have to pit. We'll see how that works
out for him.
Pit stops by Matt and Joe. Woo! They're coming in, and boy, did they come in hot.
That's a sticker pecker right there, Sam. Yeah. You know very well what it, and so do you, Greg, or what it takes to come and enter that pit road right there.
Yeah, the 15
get the penalty.
15 came in hot, slid right through the limit line there. We'll see what happens. Joe cut right behind him though. Maybe taking advantage of a mistake here by Matt Watkins.
This could be, you know, that one mistake could cost Matt the entire evening here. So we'll see here, because Robert Bokum, let me tell you something. Robert wants this. He's been denied several times, and he wants it really, really bad.
Robert is on the access road coming into pit lane, so we'll follow him in here and see how he negotiates it. It's locks it up slightly, but nice and.
DeCinza still out. He's going to run another lap, I think.
It looks like looks like the 18 and 303, or the 6 and the 303 have stayed out. We're trying to get that one extra lap there.
Yeah.
Well, you want a clean run into the pits, you know, so.
Joe Cutter had an awesome pit stop, and I want to tell you, Joe is smooth, so.
Yeah, good pit stop by Joe. Let's see if Matt Watkins gets a black flag.
The 6, a beautiful through there. Oh, right out to the grass. This he's a nice guy, and he is an awesome driver. And the first time I raced against him at CCR Racing, I knew this guy's a real deal. 45 miles an hour down pit road.
One of the interesting things about Mark DeCinza is that he's a city guy. He's from New York City, and usually do not see these city guys driving like these country folks. So it's always good to see the 6 up there and showing them how it's done, showing them how an urbanite does it.
That's right. Being from the big city of L.A. myself, I appreciate a city slicker taking it to the country boys. But right now, Matt Watkins did not get a black flag. So again,
misses his stop a little bit, has to back up out of 4th place. Just a little bada bing there. Still got a shot at the top 5 here. He damage controlled it very well, but.
No, it's all about managing now as this race is winding down quickly with just 9 laps to go. Ken Ron coming out too, and Ken stretched that first stint there, so let's see if that benefits him.
Matt Watkins has now pulled in front of Buckham. What a better pit stop than Robert. Robert has not had a good pit stop because Joe's up there too. Joe had a great pit stop.
Well, he hit the wall though in the pits, like you said, and pushed the limit. Obviously, NASCAR did not fine him for that, so he executed it. But now he's got to have a damaged car. You think Robert Bokum is all over him. Robert doesn't need to win this race to win this King of the Hill. But
no, but he needs to get more points. But he knows he needs to get more points than the guy in front of him. And if he has a chance to put him behind him, he's got to do it. And might as well be the first race.
This series, it's very, very important that you lead the most laps and you lead a lap to get those extra bonus points. They really count here. As we saw last King of the Hill with a 1-point difference between Troy Higgins and Matt Watkins. And Troy hadn't picked up 1 point. He could have tied. And I don't know what to do in case of a tie. I don't think we've ever had one. So we'll see what happens if that ever happens.
Yeah, and with these two right on each other's bumpers probably all night, it wouldn't shock me to see if it did come with the tie. Yeah, and amazingly, did he stay out 20 laps here?
Yes, he did.
That's a shock that you could stay out there on 3 times fuel, but he did it. And let's see if that 20-second lead evaporates, though, Milty.
Well, he would have been on tires that were going away very, very quickly, and he would have been losing a lot of ground. If you don't pretty much pit midway on these sprint races, you're pretty much going to be in trouble. You will lose a lot of ground.
Well, Rookie Cup and Rookie Truck sensation Alan Myers is running well, but he's mired back in 8th place now. As you really see the pit stop excellence of these top runners coming to the forefront.
No, absolutely, and as in Pro Cup Milty that we watched almost entire season, the green flag stops. During the green run, a lot of these guys are just as good as each other. But man, when the green flag stops
Sean
start coming,
Johnson slow on the inside there, letting the cars go by. I think he was off there.
Yeah, well, Sean got disconnected earlier, so yeah, he's just wants to finish and grab as many points as he can right now. But Matt Watkins continues to hold off Robert so far here as we hit lap. Is the 151 still running? Oh, here he's coming out of the access road right now.
Yeah, yep.
Wow, what a stint by Guy Petra. He ran 22 laps.
Like Sam said, though, that's going to hurt him.
Yeah, it's going to hurt him.
Go
although he'll need less fuel now, so he still needs those 4 tires though, so it won't matter.
Lost a tire. Looks like he blew a tire. The 88. He's going to be a right rear. No, his left front or something. Yeah, he's lost a tire.
That's a bad break for. Bad break. But yeah, so Guy Petra in the pits, the last guy. Looked like he made a fairly good stop, but it's going to cost him, I think, as he comes back out.
16 of Dan Sconey got loose coming out of 4 and had let some cars by. They're in damage control on the Sconey.com Ford.
Yeah, and these access roads are a little treacherous as well. If you get a little too hot on them, get into that grass, you're along for a ride and probably an end to your night as well. So good job there by Guy getting back out. Dropped him back down to 4th right now, but we'll see where he blends back in.
Well, you only have
these guys up in front, they're so good, man. And you just wonder every week. Winston Cup broadcast, we broadcast, Pro Cup broadcast. There's those men, mama. 15 and the 18 are just studs, man.
Yeah, and Matt Watkins has stretched out that lead slightly to about a half a second now. And with the last winding down, I don't know if Robert has anything for him. But Matt Watkins, again, with that...
Joe Cutter coming out of pit road.
He's coming out.
That's going to hurt his chances for sure.
Yeah, that's going to hurt. It's going to hurt, but got to finish. Got to finish as best you can now and not worry about that. As you see, he's side by side with Robert Bokum, which doesn't help Robert at all on slightly older tires. And you can see that's allowed Matt to basically pull seconds away, and looks like Matt will be your first race winner here. Robert Bokum second right now, but Mark DeSenza just a couple seconds away. If he had a couple more laps, maybe he could have done something, but we'll follow Matt Watkins here as he's going to get the white flag coming up.
It looks like 4th is going to be the Ken Run, number 303, who, by the way, texted me earlier and said he's going to knock Mr. Watkins off the hill. In fact, several people have been saying they're going to knock him off the hill.
I like that.
They're going to dethrone him, and I commented in the forum that if you really want to, if you want to dethrone Matt Watkins, the best thing to do is yell fire when he's on the toilet, because I don't see it happening.
Well, when you're on top,
yeah,
they want to chop that cherry tree down, man.
Trying Matt Watkins going into 3 and 4 here for his final time, so it looks like Matt will take the checkered flag and will be race number 1 winner. And if you're the defending champ and you win the first race, I think that lets everyone else know that you're on your game. And Matt Watkins is your winner. Robert Bokum second. Mark DeSenza third, and Ken Ron brought it home fourth. Steve Webb with a great finish in fifth. So good job by those guys as well.
The intensity of Matt Watkins, even with some damage, but just how he throws it out there, and he does that stuff. That's just how he races. So it's not like he can get scared or flustered with the situation, because that's just how he drives. So he's used to that. I mean, I followed him around Indy in the Indy 500 at least once or twice. Every run, he would get that car completely sideways, drive it down too low, just catch the car and go on like nothing, It's the most intense and the quickest hands I've seen in sim racing, maybe besides Damien Godstilla, which he's patterned his strategy and the way he races after Damien, because it was the first guy that ended up getting beat.
Damien Godstilla, the legend, not only in the FSB but in iRacing as well.
Yeah,
not a bad guy to emulate.
Yeah, and PlayStation, and he missed the cut by one to drive a real race car, through the PlayStation program.
So
that's
this race is complete. Matt Watkins, there we see our official standings. Matt Watkins first, as we said, so he'll get the max points. I believe he may have led the most laps as well, so he might get that extra bonus point. Robert did lead a good chunk of the race as well, so we'll have to do a count on that to see who gets that extra bonus point. But how about Ken Shea from that early problem, Milt? He drove it back up to 10th place finish, and that could be huge. Come in these last three races, that you stick to it, and brought a good finish home. Rookies, Pat Rouchet and Alan Myers, both in the top 10 as well. So you got some youngins and some vets there, Milty. Good mix in the top 10.
Yeah, it all depends what happens the second race now, as far as those top 10 guys, whether they have a shot. Because
and now
bad things are going to have to happen to the top 5.
Well, Milty, now with this new format, though, Matt Watkins, Robert Bochum, and Mark DeSenza will start this second race in the back.
In the weeds, in the back.
And it's a short track, too. They'll be starting in the back. And I want to comment real quickly that your viewers might not know this, but this tradition of the King of the Hill has been going on since 2005. And we've had multiple double winners. We've had lots of people that won twice. We've had Brian Holman, Ozzy, Kirk Marble, and James Hatch, and now Matt Watkins have all won twice, but nobody's won it 3 times. So Matt is going for a record tonight, and he already has 5 Pro Cup championships, which is a record this season. So let's see if we can tap another record.
Yeah, and that's the great. Those other guys, they got to be pretty good, because I know what it was like to race against the great James Hatch, a real, dirt track driver. So, I mean, that's a star-studded field there that Matt Watkins is looking to, I don't know the other guys, but I know Sammy knows them, so they're badass legends. So,
well, Ozzy is well known in the racing, and he's around. He's something else. And Kirk Marble also. All these guys that have run this King of the Hill, they're all tops. I'd love to get a Champions King of the Hill together with all these guys that have won previously and put them all together.
Maybe someday.
Well, I don't know. These guys have lost the touch over time. But we used to send trophies to these guys. Open racers, open.
I know that feeling.
It was awesome.
Losing the touch over time, that is.
Yeah, so one race in the books. We'll be quickly resetting the server here and moving on to the next track. Next track is the short track, I believe Sam said, so we'll be looking at Richmond. Richmond, I believe, day, or is it the Richmond night?
There's only one Richmond, so,
Richmond night.
And, you're looking at, in case you were wondering, I'd say the biggest thing I saw from the 15 crew team this year was their improvement on short tracks. So that's bad news for the Bears, because if you were looking at weak spots, he's probably gonna finish top 5 at road course. you might have had a chance at him at Richmond, but I think he's going to come back, and you know, a lot of things got to happen, but it's no short tracks are no longer a weak spot for the 15 team.
Well, he's got to work himself up through about 15 cars, though. He's going to be starting in the back.
Yep.
And I've also requested at the drivers' meeting. Sometimes guys that don't they don't want to qualify because they do want to. They elect to start in the back. I've asked all drivers tonight to qualify, even if you want to start in the back, and to start just to run one qualifying lap slow if you want to start in the back, so we can get all these guys tagged ready to the back. Let's hope that happens.
And there we see our front page news. Matt Watkins showing some muscle at Homestead, and he's your winner of race 1. So we'll move on to the short track, and we'll see if Matt and Robert and Mark can work their way from the back to the front, which will not be easy.
Saw a picture of him on Facebook, man. Dude's been working out, man. He's got some guns on him too, man. That guy's a fire plug and of intensity. Very calm, mild-mannered guy in public, but behind the wheel, he's a friggin' fire plug. So better bring your A game, boys.
Yeah, and why the guys are now out on the track at Richmond, Milty, for a quick 10-minute practice session. Remember, these are all default NR 2003 tracks, the ones that came with the game. And we know from experience that they're usually a little more punishing than the aftermarket or add-on tracks. And now with cranking up the wear, this I believe will be a 4X race. So the tire wear is going to be tremendous here, Milty. And guys who aren't used to driving these tracks, because we really have gone away from a lot of the original tracks, may have some adjustments in their driving. You know, how they approach a track. Normally, it might have to change slightly here to accommodate the conditions.
Well, they're absolutely going to have to, and that's where you look at the experience and you know, of these drivers.
Yeah, we'll watch a little practice here, Milty. So why don't you take a look at what you were seeing here at Richmond. Tell us a little about Richmond, Milty. It's about 3/4 of a mile, but it's not your typical short track.
Well, it's a D-shaped oval, and it's got the strangest turn 1 you will ever find in sim racing or real racing, and it's a gonad checker right there. It will check your, especially with limited time here, who's going to master that turn 1 braking zone. For me to run this track, I got to run 40, 50 laps in practice, maybe, and then run my hour normal practice before a Pro Cup race to be competitive. I mean, it takes me that much preparation to dial in, even though I've run here for years and I've won on this track. It's still, you know, so my point being is these guys, well, I think, you know, some of these guys that don't have that problem, they've got raw talent up the yin yang.
And
so.
we're riding with Mark DeSenza right now, Milty, as we can see getting into turn 1. You can see even for the great ones that he came in just a little hot there, and then paid the price as someone just cleaned his clock there.
Well,
but,
knowing him as a world champion at CCR Racing and runner-up to me when our 2 leagues came together in the IROC Challenge, they ran a lot of expert setups there in that league on these tracks. So I expect him, even though he's pushing the limits a little bit, I expect him to show up and be ready, because it's going to come to him with a few laps of practice here. I like his chances.
Yeah, and now we're riding with the great Robert Bokum, master of short tracks. And you can see how he's just so smooth getting into 1. It looks like he's just going out for a Sunday drive, being that it's Sunday. But he's going fast, and of course he's the fastest in practice already. So slow, looking smooth means fast.
I got a point update for you guys. Robert Bocum and Matt Watkins are tied for first with 44 points, and Mr. Mark Senza is third with 42. I forget who's fourth now, but
I think Ken
Ronnie's got 40 points.
So as you can see, the bonus points did play a role in that very first race, Milty, with Robert did nab the most laps there, so he was able to overcome the second place finish basically with leading the most laps. It's like a win for Robert Bocum.
I gotta tell you guys, I'm sorry, Mel, I can tell you that there's some competition here, serious competition between Matt and Robert. They both take a lot of pride in their game, and Robert really wants this trophy. I know he does. It's been eluding him, and but he's got this guy Matt. He's just so tough. He's tough at every track. Even he'll be tough even at Infineon later on. So it's just one hard guy to beat. And the idea of this series is to put the test of all kinds of different tracks. So we'll see what happens tonight.
Absolutely, multiple champions, disciplined, focused individuals. And the great stage of at FSB Racing that you've brought this here, and for all the fans and for all the drivers, and family members that watch, I mean, these guys are really good, and you just can't imagine if you haven't done it.
And we know that the rivalry between Matt Watkins and Robert Bocum was alive and well during the entire Pro Cup season, where early on they were really trading race wins almost. Robert won a week, and then Matt came back, won the next week, and then there was a little contact between them a couple of times as they were racing for the lead. So yeah, these guys, former teammates with Monsoon Motorsports. Robert Bocum broke away. Formed his own team, not so much in competition, let's say, but in the spirit of having not one dominant team. Monsoon was very dominant in its few seasons when they were strong together, and so he formed Bocum Motorsports, and they really covered the field last season. I'm sure to Matt's, won't say unhappiness or anything, but I'm sure he didn't like finishing second. Not so much in his individual, but his team did take a beating last year overall. So I know Matt has a lot of pride in Monsoon, and Robert, of course, carrying the team with his own name. And with the team rule changes, there's now Bocum Motorsports 1 and 2, and so Robert missing a couple allies possibly. But we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I can see Robert really wants this one. As you said, it's eluded him. He's won a billion races, it seems like. He's won a ton of individual championships, but this is the complete championship, and he wants it.
This one and the Pro Cup championship. He really wants to knock off Matt of the Pro Cup series. And this team change thing. We've been discussing this a little bit during off season, and it was a great idea to split up the teams. But another thing that these teams do, and that Bocum has always done, is he basically doesn't miss a night, and his team members don't either. And that's what's going to get you to the top of these team standings. Is that Mr. Bocum just doesn't miss a race. It doesn't matter what division it is, he doesn't miss it. So he keeps those points coming. His team keeps the points coming, and that's what keeps that got him to the championship. Got his team to the championship podium last year.
Yeah, absolutely. Showing up for the races is very important, and of course, the team communication in Bocum is spectacular. The guys communicate. They know exactly what they need to do. They do have a lot of team mentality in their racing. And it's quite often you'll see them running 1, 2, and 3, and in the Super Speedway series, where teammate racing is even more crucial.
And could play effect tonight. Could come into a big
absolutely.
Effect. And Matt has teammates out there. He's got Webb and he's got Guy.
That's right.
And,
so
and Bocum has got his teammates out there, which is Ken, Den, and Sean. So
and Mark. So yeah, it's going to be some team racing. We'll see at Talladega. I'm certain of it. And during that Super Speedway series, maybe you don't think Robert Bocum is a Super Speedway racer, but that means you just haven't run one of the races, because he knows how to drive those plate tracks just as good as any short track.
We were discussing the possibility this year of doing a team King of the Hill, where the first 3 of each 4-man team would be scored for each event, just like what we're having now. So that's a possibility coming into the works. We'll see if that happens.
Yeah, absolutely. That's always tweaking, always trying to see if we can make it a little more edgy and competitive, and that's what these guys thrive on. They thrive on competition and side-by-side racing, and taking that last position, whether it be 10th or running for the lead.
You know, Jim, we got to give a lot of credit here to Jim Ray about what I was just discussing about tweaking this server and FSB racing. He's been through experience. He's had to experience and had the hard knocks to learn what works, what doesn't. Milt has been along with him on that ride. So has T-Roy and Webb and a lot of these guys. And this is a tweaked server. This is a server that has gone through its growing pains, its aches and pains, and growing pains. And they've really Jim Ray has done just a fabulous job of deciding what's good for the server, what is not good, and eliminating and changing and always upgrading. And I can't say enough about what Jim's dedication to FSB racing has been all about, because it's why we have the great competition and the great sportsmanship that we have currently.
Oh, absolutely. Jim has really put in a lot of his very little free time that he has. Pretty much all of it goes into FSB somehow, some way. He's on here at midnight Pacific time. He's working on things. He's updating things on the website. The guy is a tireless worker for this league, and rightly so. He's should be commended for everything that this league is. It's not easy to do. And he really knows how to deal with all the different personalities that you run into here as well, because as Milty will tell you, there's a lot of type A personalities here, Sam, and sometimes type A personalities butt heads, and he's done a wonderful job of keeping everyone focused and working to one goal, which is having the best league.
He has to make some very tough decisions too, concerning penalties and such. It is a autocracy, I guess you want to call it, a monarchy. He makes the final decision, but what's great about it is he will ask for input on every single one of those decisions. He'll say, admins, what do you think of this? And he'll have us look at a replay. And we'll look and we'll give him our opinion, and generally 99% of the time he goes with that, and he goes with what he thinks is best for the server as far as making any penalty calls. And he's very consistent with penalties too. It doesn't matter who you are. If you break the rule, you know, if I break a rule, let's say I break what is that? When you're talking there and you're not supposed to say like bad words and stuff, like flaming.
Yeah, we've all got the red card before. To use a soccer analogy.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, it's very easy to say the wrong thing here, and if you say the wrong thing here, you could be out of this league. And it's very important that sportsmanship is key in this racing. Now I was looking, by the way, at the practice times for Richmond, and Robert Bokum, of course, is on top. But that Ken Shea, of course, is going to be second, and he is fast on the short track.
Yes,
and Matt Watkins is way down in 9th in the practice session. So let's see how these they're out there qualifying right now, and Ken Shea is up on top.
Ken Shea is your current pole sitter with a minute remaining in qualifying. Guy Petra with a great run. Yeah, so this will shake things up, Sam, as you said. Guys like Ken Shea, Sean Johnson, Guy Petra, Pops, those guys are fast on short tracks. So with few laps, will Watkins, Bokum, and DeSenza take any unnecessary risks they might feel, and put themselves in an awkward position that they're not usually familiar with? That'll be very interesting.
Yep, they're starting in the back. Matt Watkins has been doing a lot of starting in the back lately, kind of handicapping himself. But Mr. Bokum is quite used to starting up front, and it's going to be very interesting. He's going to have to work himself up through the back as these 12 other drivers have qualified, and the 3 handicapped drivers, which is Mark DeSenza, Robert Bokum, and Matt Watkins, will all be starting in the back.
That's right.
Yeah, in my experience with this race, when I had a chance to win it, was was after the first race, finishing in the top 3, which I think I won the first race. The second race, my goal was top 5, and that's a battle. You got to miss. You probably might get a wreck or two. No caution, so they're gonna you're gonna keep going. You can't. You don't really want rules still. FSB rules still apply, so you don't want to Ricky Cole trickle it too much. But at the same time, you want to try to at least get top 5 or 6 or 7. So then the next time you can qualify and maximize your points.
And you might see some sandbagging here at the end there, Milt, where a guy might be finishing in 3rd spot to choose to finish 4th.
Why not? I mean, there's nothing against it, no rules. It's all about the big picture, and the question is, it's going to be. There's a lot going on in that cockpit, so can they also? That's where a good team comes into play, where you mingle with your teammates in between the break and figure out where you're at points-wise, so you have the knowledge. We've got you in here to tell us where it's at, but what are these guys looking at? Where do they think they're at?
This is going to be a very tough deal, because this is 4X on this short track, and it's going to be about 33 laps of fuel on a 40-lap race. So I expect to see most of these drivers pitting at 20, because that rubber is going to be coming off this car, especially at this track. It's very, very tough on the right front, and we might be seeing some guys blow some tires out there if they stay out a little too long, like the 91 did last. No, not 91.
88.
88, that's right.
And we just saw a big pile up there too. And Richmond is not a slow track by any means. As far as short tracks go, a pile up here could have a lot of ramifications too, as it's very hard to slow it down. As we just saw a huge pile up between Bochum, Ken Shea, Ken Ron, Joe Cutt. Just couldn't slow down in time, and there was a big pile up.
That turn 1, going to turn 1, is such a swooping turn, and it's you have to kind of like half brake, half throttle down into that turn, and you tend to it tends to really throw you. If you were in a real car, the G-forces on that particular turn are extreme.
Take the breath out of you.
Yep,
Absolutely.
yes, sir.
And you can see you almost want to be just brushing the wall as you enter in the 1, so you can get that, as you said, Sam, you want to get that kind of that angle into the turn, so you can drive it out of the turn, which you see a lot of guys struggling on.
Coming out low here out of that turn, turn 2, is so critical for a great exit. You come out a little bit high and you're going to be messing up. So yeah, the entrance into 1 and 2 and exit are critical on this track.
And there we see one of our current points leaders, Matt Watkins, turning some laps here in happy hour. What do you think Matt's strategy is going to be? Is he going to play cool at the beginning and after the pit stop light the wick up, or do you think he wants to just go?
I think he's thinking top 5 here, but to do that, you got enough time. But you got to pick them off one at a time. You can't be Superman. These guys are all professional sim racers, so they're not going to lay down. They know what's at stake here to improve their position for the second stage. So.
I think for sure Matt Watkins is going to be keeping a good eye on where that 18 is compared to where he is.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think he's going to be watching to see where that 18 ends up, and he wants to stay real close to him, if not ahead of him.
Well, how about a guy like Ken Shea? He finished 10th in that first race, salvaged actually a top 10 finish after spinning very early on. Obviously, he has to have win on his mind now to max out his points.
Absolutely.
But certainly a win here by Ken Shea, and the points would really be jumbled up.
Well, the problem is the road course is going to be his weak spot. So he needed to finish better in the first race, and then look at like a top 10 in the road course. So he's going to really have to pull the rabbit out of the hat. You have to win here, and then get a top 5 in the next one, and then win the last one.
Yeah, that'd be a tall order maybe, but anyone can win that super speedway, as we know that, which I believe will be the next race coming up. Is that correct, Sam?
No, it's I saved that one for last.
Save that for last.
Because anything can happen in that thing. So we're going to do the road course next.
So yeah, well, so it definitely behooves Ken to max out his points here at Richmond, where it's obviously his best track.
Hey, Mill, you teaching this guy new words like behooves?
No, I think he's smarter than I am, but in fact, I know he is. So
again, I want to. Well, I got a minute here, guys. I want to say at the beginning of this race, it has been fabulous what you guys have been doing, broadcasting these races. It is it's wonderful to have my family be able to look back on these things, or to watch me live. My friends, I tell them, come on in, and it just adds. When I'm out there riding, and I know you guys are broadcasting, I'm driving just a little bit better, I think, anyway.
Yeah, it's a privilege. I mean, even we'll be sitting at Taco Bell with my coworkers that really could give a crap, but of course, if you're not involved in it, or you don't see how special it is, but I put it on my cell phone on YouTube. Greg puts it on YouTube, does a great job promptly and HD quality, and I'm sitting there in Taco Bell with my coworkers, and next thing you know, we're all eating lunch, watching it, and they're like, "That's you right there," because I'm talking, and I know it's just something special about it, being a part of it. We're all a part of it, The privilege.
I just realized I didn't save a replay from the last race, so I'm glad you are broadcasting.
I got a copy of it for you later.
All right, terrific. Thanks.
So
I'm saving the points.
Yeah, so the guys are making their quick parade lap again.
Wow, man, this is exciting stuff.
No time to relax, as that's a quick pace lap, and we're already green flag racing here at Richmond. 40 laps. Ken Shea, your leader.
Spin in the back.
Pat Roche in the 77 went around on his own. I think cars behind him slowed down.
And the 6 and the 18 had to whoa up, but the 15 made it through. And that's a huge advantage for Matt Watkins right there.
That guy gets, they say racing is 90% skill, 10%.
And Ken Ron also with a loop.
Well, I think Matt Watkins wouldn't say that if the 2012 Indy 500, when I punted him on the last lap, he didn't feel very lucky, but for the most part, good thing he won the next one,
Mark DeSenza has gotten around the 15, and as Ken Shea continues to strengthen it out.
And so T-Roy, Ken Ron with a loop, Pat went around, so early mayhem here at Richmond, but we'll get back. Yeah, well, let's
capable.
Let's try to catch up with Ken Shea. He's keeping the hammer down early here, and he's almost opened up a second lead, just 4 laps in.
Over Sean Johnson, who is looking really strong. Sean is one of these drivers who, it's just a matter of time. He has been so close.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's just a matter of time. He's going to be up there, and he's shown nothing but great improvement in skill. And all these guys that are going to Bochum, Den Francisconi, Ken Ron, they all are learning from the master. Man. They're learning from him, and there's nothing, when you race around these guys long enough, you start picking up their tricks, and you start hearing little things that might help you. And actually, I've been improved my driving a lot since me and Mr. Bochum had a conversation about tires and tire heating and stuff like that. So the tires are really key. I mean, to these racing, I drive with the tire temperature screen on, so I know exactly what my tire temps are on all the time because it's part of the game.
Ken Shea is a multiple short track winner, but this is how hard is he going to push this? How hard is the 5 going to gonna push him.
And how good is the pit stop going to be?
And how good is the stop going to be? You know, this is new territory.
Well,
no way he could have practiced this.
Yeah, and as we
up at the last second.
As we scroll through the field here, we see Mark DeSenza 9th, Robert Bokum 10th, Matt Watkins 11th. So a little role reversal here from that first incident. Matt Watkins jumped out ahead, but both of the Bokum Motorsports drivers have reeled him in and have actually passed him. So Matt in 11th right now. Robert in 10th, Mark DeSenza now dropping back as Robert gets around him. So these guys are swapping positions in the back, which can impact the lead of the King of the Hill when this is all said and done.
You guys, I have a trick that I learned. Some tracks will allow you to cool your right side tires down if you just brush them lightly against the wall. If you take a look at the number 5, this is what he's doing, although he just hit the wall pretty good. But he's rubbing up against the wall there, and I'm wondering if he's trying to cool his right side tires down. And that could actually help you. You're slowing it down just a little bit by brushing against the wall, but you're saving a lot in tires, so it's a gamble.
Well, the thing is, you don't want to contact him. The thing is, for saving tires at Richmond is to stay down on the bottom line. When you overdrive, you can be faster the first couple corners, but the key later in run at Richmond is to stay down low, because it disciplines you to get off the gas earlier on the brakes and save the tires coming out of turn 4 and turn 2.
Yeah, and as we're watching Ken Shea there, he's really hanging it out as he's exiting the turns.
He has no speed, but go. So that's my only question with the 91 is he going to use it up, because he's like he's a Japanese American, just like Kyle Larson, and he got the same kind of talent like that. Where he's balls out, man.
Looks like we have some guys early pit stopping. Jeff Stone in the pits here, getting some service. Obviously, this is another race, as Sam was saying. You probably want to pit right around lap 20, so you can
about 6 laps from now.
Right, yeah, cars in pit road. Yeah.
We're quickly coming to halfway point of this race. Ken Shea continues to lead. Sean continues to run second, and new third place runner, 99 of Pops Markinson, has got around the 151, Guy Petra. So Pops into the third position, and Pops is another short track expert, and he's showing his strength.
Pops.
That's what I was just going to say.
The 151 too.
These short track drivers.
These guys can drive.
The 18, though, has taken a spot away from the 6, and so the 18 is now in 8th place, 6 is in 9th, and the 15 is in 10th.
Yeah, and like you guys said, that's very important with the points here, because you got to figure that they're going to qualify well. Well, I mean, you think, but we go to Sears Point next, so get some. This thing's up for grabs, boys.
Yeah, and Robert is the leader of the 3 who started at the back. He is leading his teammate Mark DeSenza, who is in front of Matt Watkins. And Matt Watkins just does not look like Matt Watkins
Pops.
right now to me.
Pop's taking a look down low on the great Sean Johnson. Really fantastic move there.
But Pops comes right back, though.
Yeah,
Pops comes right back, though. How about that? And gets up a little high there. Almost some contact between the 99 and the 5 there.
Pops is a short run some bitch right there. So
yeah, he should be doing good.
He should be doing good. Yeah, Sam knows he runs consistently in Sam's series Sunday nights, and he knows what he can do on a short track.
Yeah, and he's also good on the roadie, Milty. So a good finish here and a good finish in the roadie, and Pops might be someone to contend with at the crapshoot at Talladega.
You know it.
He's a Trans Am champion.
Oh, and there's contact between the 5 and the 151. Sent the 5 into the pits, though. Will we get a penalty there? Well, I guess he's going to pit. That's one way of deciding when you're going to pit. You have a guy punch you into the pit road, and that's what Guy Petra did there. A little love tap to the back of the car.
Okay, yeah, the 5 had signal pit this lap, so I didn't catch that in time to see. We got pit stops. 91 leader is pitting. 88. So maybe the 151, as he ran long the first race, did not see that. But they no harm, no foul, no blood.
And, there's our leader, Ken Shea. He's in the pits now. He looks like he made it through the pit lane pretty decently. He's got his one side going on, left side's going on now, and he'll be joining the fray. The 151 is your current leader as we're going through green flag stops now. So after a couple more laps, we'll see where everyone shakes out. We see the 99 in, the 88, and the 15 going out. The 303 is also in. So a bunch of guys here doing their stops. And it can get a little dicey as well when you got guys coming in, guys coming out, getting up to speed, slowing down.
Yeah.
Things can happen.
They were busy trying to get the setup down. So I didn't see a whole lot of pit stop practice. So this is all out of memory.
Right. And the 6 looks like made a slight mistake in the pits there, guys, and looked like he had to back up. So he slid through his pit box, and that could cost him, as you see Robert Bokum leaving, and the tire's still going on to the 6 car. So that's a costly mistake by Mark DeSenza, as him and Steve Weber get together in pit lane.
Oh.
And that's going to cost Mark even more time, and Webb has to do a loop around to get his service done, so that hurts Steve Weber's chances as well. And as we hit lap 25, showing current leaders, the 101 of Alan Myers. So we got a rookie leading laps here in the King of the Hill.
A great job there by Steve to do a 360 and get right back in his stall. I did that one time in front of Rick Johnson, and he said that was the greatest thing he ever saw in sim racing, because he punted me around and I did a 360 and went back in my stall. I just saw it again. That was a fantastic move by the 83. Punched it and went right back in his stall. He knew where he was at. Didn't get flustered. You know, guys, these are pro sim racers right here, man.
You know, I can't say enough about people like Steve Webb and T. Roy. These guys are just so good and so dedicated and have come such a long way. And I want to also show a throw out tonight. Shout out to the 108, the dog, and also the 16 of Den Francisconi. These guys, we don't like to say the word handicapped. They have different abilities. One is paralyzed, that's Den. And he drives with his fingers on a keyboard, and so does the 108. He's got no use of his legs, so he has a special steering wheel set up. These guys are wonderful to watch, and their dedication to this sport, their abilities. Each year, each season, they keep growing and getting better, and I just can't say enough about what this league has offered them and what they offered the league in return. I just think it's amazing.
Absolutely, man.
100% agree. They're both amazing people, number one. And number two, the fact that they can drive
competitive,
such a technical game, and be not only just not show up, but win. Den with a huge win last season in Sportsman Truck, I believe. And the dog is a rookie truck champion. Yeah. So don't feel sorry for them. They'll beat you on the track, and then they'll laugh at you too.
But you still have to mention it because it's significant.
It's part of the story, folks. There's no doubt.
Absolutely. Every time I get up when I go to work, and I think about poor me, and I think about what they have to do every day to get up and live. I feel real grateful.
Well,
I'm inspired, by them.
As we get back to after these exchange of green flag stops, as I think we are all completed, Ken Shea is back on top, and he has a nice 5-second lead. So Ken with a very good, clean pit stop there, and that's what he needed to do. And with this 8 laps remaining now, I think he can sniff it.
Now you got the points guys down here that are now the 18s run up to 5th place. The 15 is now in 6th, and the Mark Descends is now in 8th. So this is going to be one heck of a battle tonight. I think it was great that we did the handicapping this time because it's showing through. And I had hesitated. A lot of people were against the handicapping idea, but I mentioned when we talked to Jim about it. Jim really wants to go with it. I had to talk him into it 2 years ago, but we're getting there now, and got a couple divisions that have handicapping. So
and there's a great battle with the 151 and the 5 guy. Petra looking very strong, and of course he's another road course ringer, we'll call him, because he knows how to get around Infineon. So
absolutely,
quality finish here by Guy, and a top 3 in Infineon, and he might be in the mix.
Another one of my favorite personalities here, Guy Petra. He's funny. He's one of our former admins. He's just a great competitor. I think he's looking for a team. I'm not sure if Monsoon is breaking up completely or what's going on. I believe Guy is free agent right now. He's looking free agency. So any great team out there wants to look at Guy. He's one you want to have on your team. If anything, he's a great competitor, and also he's just funny.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a character, and we all appreciate his sense of humor for the most part. But right now, Ken Shea,
one of the original.
There's some smoke, and we got a spinner. Teammates. Steve Webb spun it around. Looks like he's disconnected. Yeah. It says accident too, so he might have had enough damage that he couldn't continue anyways. But that's a tough blow for Webb. He had some contact there in the pits as well, so that's going to cost him some points.
That 18 has now worked himself up to the 4th position.
Yes, the 18 is in 4th.
And he's got his teammate between him and the 15, which he's going to want to. He's telling his teammate right now, keep that 15 behind you if he shows up. He's 3 seconds behind the 5 though.
Yeah, with just 3 laps remaining, can Matt pick up another position? And a vital point is the question right now. The 6 car Mark Descends is stuck in 8th. Doesn't look like he'll be moving up either. So this is a win for Bochum possibly.
Yeah, and this is also great for Bochum because if he finishes 4th, he gets to qualify in the next race.
That's right. And that's the road course where I was watching him earlier on in practice at Infineon.
Yeah, there's no letdown.
Yeah, well, he wasn't maybe the fastest on the speed chart. He certainly wasn't the slowest, and he likes to let it. Yeah, I saw him letting it hang out a little at Infineon, where it's a technical course.
Well, he's helped me a lot with short track racing, and in turn, we've done testing sessions in road course racing. But honestly, I think. And it's starting to show up in time that his skill level will transfer to road course racing, and he'll be faster than I ever thought I could be. I really believe that in time. He just once he gets the fire to do the testing that he does in these other cars.
And this race,
he could do anything.
And this race is over, and Ken Shea really showed his strength there at Richmond.
Skiji.
That's right, Ken Skiji with the big win, over 5 seconds over Pops, who has a great finish. Pops with the 2nd place finish. Guy Petra 3rd. Robert Bochum coming from the back to finish 4th. And he did manage to keep his teammate behind him, so that denies a point for Matt Watkins, who finished 6th. Mark Descends at 8th. And the 101 Alan Myers led a bunch of laps, the rookie. I'd like to see rookies leading the big boys, and he finishes with the top 10. So a quality finish there as well. And Ken Ron struggled, but finished 10th with the 4th place finish to go in the first race. And he still may be on the outside there, but totally not out of it yet.
I think you're seeing the evolution of the 101. Alan Myers has just started out basically, and I think there's more to come from that 101 car.
Absolutely, and we saw that
and the 77
with 40 green
flags.
Yeah, 40 green flag laps are not easy to stay on the lead lap with a guy like Ken Shea, Pops, and those guys laying down some fast laps, and 8 guys still finished lead lap. with the pit stop thrown in. So that was a fast pace of this race. 116 miles an hour for Ken Shea's winning speed time. That's fast at Richmond.
Oh, he just wiped the floor with these guys, man. And the 99 ain't no slouch on short track.
No,
so.
not at all. Pops did what he needed to do.
Yeah,
so did Guy Petra, but
they need to do the same thing in the road course. Then you know, they need the 18 and the 15 to crash at Talladega, which could happen. You know, so.
Absolutely. Talladega's the crapshoot. But yeah, you have to give the win though. Overall, I think the win goes to Robert Bochum with the 4th place finish. So he maxed his points out when he knew that was going to be a tough battle to go from the back to the front there, and he negotiated it properly. There was a wreck in front of him that didn't get caught up in, and quality finish for maybe the best short track driver that FSB has. So I'm sure he's probably not going to be happy with that 4th place finish.
I saw it.
We said top 5, and they finished 4th and 6th. So
I saw a note here
pretty
from the 18, by the way, in the chat. The note that because of that wreck, he had fell back 10 seconds, and he had a red tire, which means that he had a tire that was just about to blow. So he was being very cautious at the end of his race. So.
Yeah, and there's we can see that 4X tire where if you had a lock up to avoid a wreck. That's punishing on these tires at 4X, so great job by Robert, who is the best tire manager around too. So when he saw that red tire, he probably didn't know what the heck it was even looked like, because he probably never saw one before.
Well, he knows how to do damage assessment and damage control, and that's what he did. Put himself in the position to win.
And you know what the most amazing thing is, that he's sitting there on the phone talking to his friends while he's doing it. I am not kidding you.
He better not be.
He does.
He better not be, or I'm going to not say anything nice about him ever again.
You know what he sometimes he's doing that. And he says, he'll see me come up behind him, and he says, oh, got to go. And he gets off the phone.
Yeah.
Time to win this race.
I'm starting to not like him. Because that's just ridiculous.
Don't be a hater, man. Don't be a hater. Come on.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I'm hating now. I'm hating. I'm on a campaign of hate right now.
No, when I first heard that he did that at a race I was in, and he said he had to get off the phone because I came up behind him, and I just that made me so mad, because I'm like, I'm doing everything I can to stay up with him, and he's just yakking on the phone having a good time.
That's
anyway, he's talented.
That's
I don't think
not only disturbing, but it's sick. It's just straight sick. And he's got issues that we're gonna have to discuss after this broadcast is over. I'm not gonna sit around praising him as he's yakking on the phone with one hand and kicking everyone's ass with his other hand. That's just not right.
It would have been better if you didn't know that. Huh?
Yeah, it would have been so much better.
Well, we'll see. I don't think he's
so we get ready,
but I know he was doing it on.
Get ready for Sears Point here. Now.
That's right. Next up on the list is what Milty likes to call Sears Point, because he's stuck in the past. Us modern style people like to call it Infineon. Some people don't call it either of those. They call it that thing up north.
Two of my dad's buddies died there, and the great Jim Cook had a heart attack in a 962 Porsche, and Jim Kilpatrick, who was let me sit in the F-106 fighter plane. He was the colonel at Fresno Air National Guard. He had a heart attack in his motorhome, pulling up his old Porsche Speedster he had, but I'm sure they wouldn't have wanted to die at any other place at the races. And Jim Cook, he was like my mom. I told my mom about that, and she was like, he was a good-looking son of a bitch, you know. But you know, that's racing, and so there's a big, deep attachment for me for Sears Point, you know.
Oh yeah, it's an iconic track in NASCAR lore, but it also has a lot of history with many of the old time series that we unfortunately don't have as much of it anymore. But talk a little about the course, Milty. 11, maybe 12 turns, we'll call it. There's like a 1A. Some people like to call it turn 1 and 2. I think the official term is 1 and 1A, but about 11 turns on this course. And unlike Watkins Glen, Milty, not as friendly. It's a punishing course that demands you hit your marks, and if you don't, you get punished.
Well, let's see if we can get in car with one of these drivers here, and we'll go live here, and I'll explain it to you.
Well, let's pick someone that you're very familiar with driving-wise, and that's the 99 of Pops Margison, who we know knows how to get around the road course. So take it from here, Milty.
Okay, Pops coming out of turn 4. He's going into turn 5 here. It's hard braking right here. Down the first gear here, roll to the center, and now you got the S's here. First gear, second gear, kind of lift, let the car roll over the curbs, over the second curb, third, 6, 7, 8. Now you come into turn 9, coming out full acceleration, no lift here, through turn 9, into turn 10, hard braking, down the gear, third gear. Now you're coming up full speed, and he's in the fourth gear, hard braking in turn 11. You want to get right down just like he does to the cones here. It's the World Championship Trans Am driver here, Pops Margison. Hard on the gas, through the start finish, turning the car at the same time, you're full throttle, lift, down, third, second, first, in the 1A. Now you're in the 2 here.
And we noticed
down,
that Pop stayed in second there, Milty. Do you see a downshift into first second there?
I think with this setup, just like 2A, 3, that's exactly the gear he needs to be in. This hard in the turn 5 right there, a 4, and then back on the gas again in turn 5. That's a lap with Pop's.
Yeah, and you can see how just really nice and smooth through the corners. You don't hear the tires, the brakes locking up as he's in the braking zones. And there is some heavy braking zones here, especially obviously turn 11. And
see, just like he does it, kids at home, that's exactly where you want to be. Perfect position, perfect speed, perfect braking point. I like his chances in this race. Right down to the curb again.
And then the acceleration off of 11, Milty, is crucial. And guys very much have the tendency to light up the tires as they're in first gear there. And without straightening the car out, if you get on that gas in first gear, the car will get out of shape.
What Pops needs to do is qualify up front and win this race. And then he's got a real shot, because Talladega's a crapshoot. He's going to need the 18, the 15, as Sam's probably looking at the point situation right now. Maybe we get a better view of where these guys need to be going into the last race.
Yeah, Milty, now we're riding with Matt Watkins now, Milty, here in practice. So take a look at Matt Watkins, Milty, and tell me what you contrast it with, let's say, the Pops, who's a road course warrior, where Matt Watkins is more of the upstart on the road course here.
Well, Matt Watkins raced with us in 2009 in the 24 Hours of Le Mans, and he was a relative newcomer, and he sent me a replay, and I thought that was the most badass replay I ever saw, because he was sideways around that whole track, and I was like, this guy's got talent. Looking at it, he's really put the work in. See the smoothness coming out of 3 down in the or 4, 3 in the 4, the right-hander, and then going down. He's really got the front end knocked down there, a little wide going into 5 there.
Hey guys, let me interrupt real quick. I'm going to go ahead and give you all the points as we have it currently there.
There we go.
18 is 84 points in the lead. 15 is 82 points, 2 points back. 99's 1 point back there. He's at 81. 151 is at 79, tied with the 91, who's bounced back very well. So the 151 and 91 are tied with 79 points, 5 points off the lead. The 6 has 78. The 303 has 74. The 101, Alan Myers, has 73. 83 has 71 points. The 88 has 68 points. The 5, 67. The 17 of T. Roy has 65. The 77 Pat Rusha has 64. 108 of the Dog has 61. And 129 Jeff Stone 60. I think the 16 did not compete in the last race, so he still has 33.
Fantastic. It's a crapshoot.
Yeah, so we can see Pop's solid finish paying dividends, and Ken Shea bouncing back from that 10th place finish at Homestead to get right into the mix of
you look at Matt Watkins in the 15s here. That's and Bochum 1-2 in practice here. P3 and. You know, these are guys who are, you know, Kevin Lewis is gone, and I'm not in the race, and you're seeing some road racers really pick up the pace, and that's world-class speed right there.
115. That's an amazing lap here for Infineon. That's fast right there.
Yeah, the fifth, Matt Watkins with a 115.343. No doubts that he intends to be a force here at Infineon. Robert Bochum second on the speed chart. So the road course guys are
to watch the in-car of Matt Watkins, and he is solid as a rock. Bad news for the Bears, I think.
And one interesting right now, I do not see, Milty, is the 91 car in the server right now. As we see our entry list, the 91 is missing.
That's not his thing.
I don't know if he's elected to skip the race, or
he may have done
if he's, you know, recalibrating or something. But he's completely off the server.
Or he may just show up and qualify. You know, stay in the back.
Well, this could possibly be.
Looks solid.
This could possibly be a race of attrition, Milty, where if you run off the course here. The race is almost, I mean, with just 17 laps here, one excursion off the track, and that pretty much has ended your run for a win. So if you do start in the back and you get 3 or 4 guys sliding off the track, you're going to get easy positions.
Well, I seen in the 2.4 hours of Le Mans, I was solidly in 3rd place, and Matt Watkins was gobbling me up. He drove it off, and so it can happen, but it also showed that really he was a 3rd place or maybe even a 2nd place car in that 2.4 hours of Le Mans. So that shows his skill level. Robert Bochum practiced but did not compete in that race, but he's right there within 0.6 of a second. But
and before as practice is winding down here, Milty, maybe you can jump down into the racing channel and talk with Ken and see what his strategy is here.
All right.
So yeah, as right now, the 91 of Ken Shea, the winner of the Richmond race, currently not in the entry list for Infineon, which would of course end his chances of winning King of the Hill. So we'll see what happens there when Milty gets back after has a chat with him. But right now, Matt Watkins is your speed leader in practice. So impressive job there by Matt Watkins.
All right, I'm back. I'm sorry, Greg. I had to go and get ready to go to work right after this. right after we're done here, I have to jump in a truck. So.
Yeah, so
let's talk to Ken Shea. Apparently, he's not going to be able to make the race, so probably going to be all for the 91, but time constraints, you know.
Yeah, that's a shame because after that win, I think he had a lot of people a little nervous there.
I'll be right back.
So as practice ends here at Infineon, not a lot of laps in 10 minutes here at Infineon with minute-plus laps. So not a lot of track time for maybe some of these guys who didn't get into the server early enough. Of course, road course racing is all a numbers game. The more laps you run, the better you get. And we'll see if that affects any of our guys. You know, you can run a one-off fast lap, but can you run 17 quality laps without running off the course or burning up the tires too soon? And we saw some extreme tire wear here with just in 4 or 5 laps, guys were screaming for tires.
Yep, that's going to be one key here is that you really have to take care of your tires here, and that means you just can't push it at all. Your tires are going to go red about lap 7 or 8, so you've got to be very careful.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I ran it a little earlier, I was driving as hard as I could, and after about 5 laps, the guy my pick guy came on and said, "Take it easy. You need some new rubber coming up." And I was like, "Wow, that's only 5 laps." So yeah, if you're abusive here, you're gonna have to almost make a 2-stop race, which probably would mean not being in contention.
Well, the top 3 practicers, which is Matt, Robert, and Sean, these guys and Guy, all these guys, except for Guy, these top 3 in practice can qualify. So it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, so the 91, of course, who is not in the race. The 99 and the 151 will not qualify. Of course, 91 and the 151 as well are maybe, looking at the field, you would say maybe the 2 best road course drivers. So the 2 best drivers will be starting basically 14th and 15th, or 13th and 14th. So
well, not to
that'll be interesting.
To dismiss the 5, because he's a fantastic road racer. But he's, I mean, he drove well in the trucks. And I mean, he was really the truck to beat at Mossport in the truck race. It was denied. So.
Well, it's going to be one of the most interesting little starts that you'll ever see, because there's a lot going on in that turn 1 when we get up to turn 1 there, and I've recommended to the drivers that they do not pass until after turn 1, so let's see if they can hold to that.
Yeah, I've definitely the great oh shit, I can't remember his name, Brian,
Kevin Lewis.
put me off there. Definitely, it's a give and take area. You got to be able to allow for 2 wide. Can't get excited when you're on the bottom. If the outside car gets a run on you, you got to get off it enough to allow him room to get around you. Then you can still might be able to beat him into turn 2, and when you go through 1A up to turn 2.
And Matt Watkins turns a 1:14.552. This is a very fast lap in Infineon. Yeah. He's not going to be touched. No one is going to touch that.
Yeah, that's Kevin. Kevin Lewis probably be about a 1:14.1. So, but that's faster than me. Faster. That's Kevin Lewis. Damien got still a type speed. That's impressive. He just pulls it out of the hat. Yeah. He just does not choke under pressure. I mean, there's plenty of opportunities to just throw it away, with the going on 3, trying to win 3 in a row. I mean, that stuff just doesn't really enter his mind. Racing against him like I know you have. This guy is just manhandles a car, a sim car, like you would probably have to manhandle a real car. He just has it.
There are a few kids today that I've seen out there racing and sim racing that I would say that I would want to put in a real race car, except for Matt Watkins. It's because of his attitude, his driving attitude, his not just his competence behind the wheel, it's his whole demeanor and how he approaches racing, how he approaches competition. He's a consummate champion, and that's what you need if you want to go into real racing. And I wonder sometimes about these guys; they don't just get picked up and get in a real car sometimes.
Yeah, especially with the onslaught of simulation. I mean, Formula One has a huge. Everything is tested. I mean, like first time my dad went to Le Mans, he had 3 laps of practice. Now you got to run a 24-hour race, son.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is nowadays you could practice different. Denny Hamlin credits his very first national win in Mexico to sim racing. He used to run with me in ABD racing.
NASCAR 2003.
Yep, he credited
it right on TV. I remember that.
That's when he won Mexico. It was his very first Grand National win, and he credited this game. All right, Matt Watkins picks it off, and Robert Bochum gets the second place spot. Mark DeCenzo will start third, and Sean Johnson starts fourth with the Webb. Fifth, Ken Ron sixth. Alan Myers will start seventh. John Palmer will start eighth. Jeff Stone starts ninth, and T. Roy will start the top 10. And then, of course, Joe Cutter. Jim Margison did not qualify as requested, and Guy Petra will be starting in the back.
Well, that's going to hurt Pops because but he needed to do what he needed to do. But now him and Guy Petra are, like Greg said, are 2 of the best road racers. They got to start in the back with the dogs here, so they need top 5s at least. And they can do it with 17 laps. You're gonna have to stop lap 7 or 8 or 9, somewhere around there. You're gonna have to stop. And it's a long ass pit road. Going in the pit lane, easy to bang the walls there. 35 miles an hour is slower than a snail on drugs.
So we're actually in another thing we have to throw into the mix here. We're actually 2 hours. It's a very long evening here with the King of the Hill, and we're actually 2 hours into the event so far, and we've only got 2 races done. It'll end sooner, of course, now, but this is a fairly long road race, and then the Super Speedway race is not all that long. So, fatigue plays a little bit into this, and you got a young buck like Matt Watkins who's quite healthy and strong. That's going to help play into this too.
Yeah, and but then you got the old fogies like Jim Markson there. He's in his 60s plus. He's probably about the oldest guy that runs here. But the difference with old guys is that they got lots of experience. He's run 24 hours events. He's run 6-hour events. He's run a lot of IndyCar events. He's run Long Beach and finished on the podium. He's a Trans Am champion, so what he gives up in brute strength, he gathers with experience and calmness and focus.
I hope you're speaking for all the old folks like us out there.
Well, absolutely. I mean, I'm 51. Yeah,
52. Yeah.
Things are starting to fall off.
I'm still in my youth.
I think I
don't know
lost
what you're talking about.
Wastegate valve last week. I don't know.
Greg, what are you about? 25?
Yeah, 25 plus 20.
Okay, 20 plus 20.
The boost is down.
Yeah, it is. It's waning, as we say.
You need to turn the knob up there.
But yeah, looking at the qualifying times, Matt Watkins with a 1:14.
Unbelievable.
I mean that's approaching.
That's Kevin Lewis.
Yeah, I was about to say that's K-Lou time.
K-Lou qualified last year in the 13.7 range, I believe. So that's a little ways off, but it's still this last year's Pro Cup race would have put him in the top 3. With this speed, so it's impressive, and they're also working with a different tire strategy. So even in qualifying, you still got the 3 or 4X or whatever it is. I mean, those tires you got the out lap and your 1 lap of qualifying. It makes a difference. That's a very impressive time.
The other thing here, Milty, that I've noticed in driving Infineon is the curbing here is really punishing. Sometimes you want to drive through those curves at like let's say like a Le Mans or something where you can hit those curbs. Besides the S's here, hitting the curbs really upsets the car.
Well, you got to hit them the right way, especially through the S's, where as you're coming to the curves, the weight of the car is like we watched the in-car with Pops. As he was going over the left-hander, the right-hander, the left-hander, I'm watching him live, which is about 3 seconds behind because I'm watching it on the live feed. When you hit those curves, you're loading on the opposite side, then you're just breezing them. But when you hit them straight on, it's bad news, you know, because you're just because these cars have so much lift. They're kind of like an old 911 RSR where they would lift the front end, the right front tire or the left front tire up under load. But those were straight torsion bar suspensions. But these cars are similar. They'll almost do that. Not quite, but they definitely unload off those tires if you do it the right way and lift and roll at the right time. Very technical.
Yeah, and we see Pops.
These guys are great drivers.
Yeah, we see Pops so smooth, just going around like it's like he's just at half speed, but the reason it looks like it's at half speed is because he's so smooth. And
you know, I'm sorry, Greg. That's a lesson I learned years ago from a guy named Tom Baldwin. He's now deceased. He died in a race car, but he pulled one of the slowest, what looked like the slowest lap I'd ever seen. It just looked so slow, and he ended up getting the track record with that lap. And I learned from that that smooth is fast, and that's what it really comes down to. You can make it look like it's going fast by hanging the ass out and looking all fast and skidding sideways, but truth is, you keep it nice and straight and level. And smooth is fast.
Yep. See the 99 getting his like a pro, you know, executing his pit stop sequence, making sure.
And this
he's done that, and
absolutely
now he's prepared.
This is a tricky pit entrance where you do have like I wouldn't call it a chicane, but you do have to get woed down. Those concrete walls are unforgiving, and it's very easy to pound that outside wall as you make that first right-hander into the pits if you're not paying attention to your speed.
We should be remiss to. We haven't mentioned some of the guys that are in the back a little bit. Jeffrey Stone, the newcomer, has run very well and stayed out of trouble and really has no chance to win this thing, but solid 119. Got to meet him, a very nice guy, and John Palmer also has really improved his road course program.
Absolutely.
And, you know, like we said, you know, with only being able to use his hands, but he has a very good steering wheel, and he has no excuses. And all he's looking at is to get better, and I can see it already. So a few seconds is a tenth a lap, tenth a corner. You know, you add those corners up, a couple seconds.
Absolutely, and we see Robert Bokum now joining the grid. Robert does his calibrations after each session, so he's always the last onto the grid, but grid nonetheless. You got to do it quickly here, but I think only a minute between sessions, so can't mess around.
Yeah, people trip on that stuff sometimes, but it's just routine and preparation. He has a routine. It's nothing sinister, it's just just what he does.
But we can see with the short pace lap, pace car's already off, and they're coming around the carousel, and they're gonna get a green flag very quickly.
You were mentioning Jeff Stone. I like this guy. He's got a great personality, and I'm hoping for great things here coming from Jeff.
Oh, I think so. I think so.
Well, here we go to the start, folks.
Yeah, this is a dicey time on the road course. Got to be a give and take coming into turn one here.
Come on, push.
Pretty much following single file up into the chicane.
That's what you got to do. You can't win it in the first corner.
And we see a little contact, and Steve Weber and the dog have gone around, and someone hit dog. I don't know if that was Pops or not, but some rough driving there as we got into it looked like 1A, and Guy Petra and Pops had to slow down, so they're going to be off the pace right now.
Well, we watched this on TV last week. All of us, I'm sure you guys all watched this on TNT last week, and watch how they go through it. We all like to throw stones at NASCAR, but this shit ain't easy, and they go through there 2 wide times 40, yeah, 22 or whatever, 43 cars, so. Yeah, shit happens. It's very, once a car at that speed really closes the door on you, it's very difficult.
And Matt Watkins will lead the first lap. Robert Bokum second. Mark DeSenza third. Sean Johnson fourth. So a lot of Team Bokum at the front. Matt's used to seeing Team Bokum ganging up on him, so nothing new there. And Ken Ron, another Bokum. So four Bokums and a Monsoon, but the Monsoon is out front, which is where he wants to be. And how about the 101? The 101 with a great drive so far. Hanging with the 303, who's a very good road racer, Milty.
Well, I think we've just getting to know this guy in one season with multiple wins in the rookie and now the FSB division. And now you get to see him on the stage against these studs. Dude can hang, man.
Yeah, he's a little wide there in the S's, but these S's, let's say, comparing these S's to Watkins Glen is like comparing 1 + 1 to the space-time continuum formula. They're completely different. They're very punishing here at Infineon. If you're off a little in the S's here, you're gonna drive it off the course and really destroy any chance you have of winning. The S's at Watkins Glen, as they're uphill, a little more friendly, going through the gears and things of that nature. So Infineon, a much more technical course than Watkins Glen is.
Well, CCR Racing, where Mark DeSenza comes from, he was the man, especially road racing. They didn't run much road races unless they had to. It's an oval-based league, and but he won damn near all of them. Or he was always in the fight there, and you see he's got what it takes to deal with these guys. But you see the 18, every race that I've raced against him at this track, and I've watched him, he's improved and learned. And he's putting together a portfolio, but then again, there's the 15 shebang.
Yeah, and Matt Watkins looking very strong with over a 2-second lead as we're on lap 3. But this again, Matt, you got to be careful with these tires, buddy. I'm telling you, 5 laps in, you're going to be screaming for your pit stop already, and they're going to tell you, nope, can't come in yet, man. You got to keep going. And that makes drivers unhappy when they say, I need to pit because my tires are gone, and your crew chief says 3 more laps. You're not going to be happy.
You race against this guy, and you get beat by him, and you realize that he, I believe it, David Hobbs talks about Fernando Alonso wringing the neck of the Ferrari, and just out driving Kimi Räikkönen in Formula One, and I think that's apropos when you talk about the 15. What he does with a sim car is he wrings the neck out of that thing, and he figures it out. He figures out strategy, tire wear, and fuel, but he also can just flat wring the neck out of the car, and do it all,
And we see that the 151 is moving up a little, and who I don't see in the top 10, who I used to see, was Pops. And right now, I think Pops might have had an excursion or something.
He might have got damaged in that first runoff there, and oh shit, yeah.
So, little button pushing there. Got a little excited, pushed the wrong button.
That's okay.
Well, you should be excited, man. This is good stuff, man. That's what we. That's why
parental
we do this,
guidance is suggested.
Yeah, you know.
But yeah, I think Pops was up in the top 10, and then all of a sudden he was out of the top 10. So I think.
Let me see if I can take a look at.
Yeah, maybe you go back about a lap or so, Milty, and see if Pops got caught up in someone else's spin, maybe, or something like that. But Guy Petra is making steady progress, starting from the back, which is very impressive. He's up to 7th, and he's going to be pressing Allen very quickly here for the 6th position.
Well, there's a gaggle. I'm watching like lap 3. There's a gaggle of studs there. 129 trying to hold off. Experienced field of Pops and Troy Knowles run everything you can run and done well. And Troy Knowles gets in the back of Pops going into turn 4 and down the hill. And they both take off, but that's where he lost that time.
Okay, so Pops is having a little problem here.
Just
Guy Petra having no problems, and he's slowly reeling in the 101.
Yeah, wasn't malicious. He wasn't trying to outbrake him, but Pops blew a tire and had to pit as I'm watching lap 5. But T-Roy just missed his braking point and got in the back of him.
Yeah, that's part of road course racing too. Everyone has different braking points, and with very short practice time, you don't know who you're coming up in front of. Sometimes you guess wrong, and it happens.
Very impressed right now with the 5 of Sean Johnson, because he is stuck within 5 seconds of the leaders. Everybody else is 13 seconds back, but Sean, the 6 and the 18 are still very close. And this is really going to be interesting how this shakes the points up, because Matt will probably get most points led and leading a lap, and will probably be either back on top at the end of this race if everything goes well, or he'll be tied up with the 18. And
but he'll have to go back with the dogs for the last race. So
yep.
So anything can happen.
The 6 just had a problem. The 6 just got loose and squirrely by the start-finish line, and he drops now back down to 4th position. The 5 takes over the 3rd position.
Yes, he does. Sean with the steady drive. Robert Bokum doing what he needs to do, though. He's kind of shadowing the 15 right now. I don't think he's interested in catching him. I think he's interested in keeping the car clean, keeping the tires underneath it, and looking forward to a pit stop, which should be coming up any time now.
You'll be looking at pit stops very, very soon, and I'm going to bet you the 6 is going to pit probably sooner than anybody, because he's been wearing out some tires. I've been watching, smoked him a few times. Yeah. So we're looking at pit stops within the next lap or 2.
Yeah, as we catch up with our leader here, who's just coming out of the S's, going down into turn 10 here and on to 11. We'll see if he likes to stay out.
108 is pitting. 99 is already pitted, but 108 is pitting.
So Matt Watkins.
6 is around. The 6 is around turn 10. Up against the wall.
Oh yeah, and that's it for him.
And he is gone.
So 6 is out, and that probably ends his hopes of being king of the hill. But the guy that they're trying to knock off, Matt Watkins, as he's on lap 8 of 17, he's looking strong. He's got about a 4-second lead now over Robert Bokum, and I think he's probably thinking pit stop coming up.
83 is pitting, 108 pitting again.
It's too bad we've had the 6 and the disconnect, because his teammates are going to need him for that super speedway race.
Yeah.
So I would be trying to talk his 6 into sticking around for another race, but who knows?
Absolutely, especially with Talladega being the end, which is great.
Yeah,
great way to finish it.
Well, not to mention Mark is a great teammate, so I wouldn't expect him to not participate in the next race, even though he knows his chances are probably gone.
Well, he can still reconnect because he's already been connected. Hopefully he will.
And Matt Watkins electing to stay out to do one more lap as he's going to start lap 9. And this is really where the tire wear is critical. And
83 is leaving pit road. He goes wide around the pace car, 2 tires over. Hope he doesn't get a penalty for that.
yeah, and we see the 108. It looks like the 108 and the 129 both in the pits. They're getting their service. They're done. There we see Pops and trying to recover, but I don't know if that's going to be possible. The 5 car is now in 3rd place and keeping Robert right in his sights. He's doing what he needs to do here.
I'm going to tell you, Sean would have been right in the mix of things, the 5 car, had he not had the early incident on that first race.
Yep.
He would be in the midst of this right now, fighting for the king.
He's got all the skills and all the disciplines. Just shows you how hard it is to win this race, to win this event.
And quick check on our leader, Matt Watkins, who it looks like he is going into the pits. Leader in the pits.
Wow,
no mistakes.
He comes in hot. Now the limit line is after you get around this corner. And he'll hit the limit sign right there, as you see, hard on. See, he's maxing out that speed. That's what skilled drivers do. He took that thing to the limit right there.
That's how you do it, kids.
That's beautiful to watch. It really is. It's like watching a composer write a symphony and then play it for you.
Especially as competitors like we are, you know. I mean, we're always trying to find that, and when you watch it, just right there live, right in front of you, under pressure, you have to respect it. And
there we see
our
3 leaders in the pit.
18, I think, really pushed the limits there and did gain some time. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006, and he's off. So I don't think he gained any time, no.
Watkins,
and the 5 comes out
that
too.
That pit stop by Watkins was too good.
That was too good. Absolutely.
And you can see in the pit stop by the 18 wasn't too shabby either. And you can see the huge lead he's opened up with 3rd place Sean Johnson, just from the exchange of pit stops. So Matt Watkins' pit stop was, it's like I said, it's like watching a composer write the music and then hearing it and realizing that the guy's a genius, and that was just beautiful work.
Well,
maxed out the speed, hit the brakes right when you have to, hit the line probably right on the speed limit, and perfect stop as well into the pits. And we see the 151 is now officially out of the race with an accident. So Guy Petra and Pops Marguson, the 2 quality finishers from Richmond, are both out of this race. So, and again, a scramble of points.
You got 6 laps to go.
And this
Taking a look back at the 151, see if we can see what happened to him.
Well, it's great to have this event finally broadcast, guys. So I believe it is the first time it's ever been broadcast.
That's great. Glad to do it. Enjoy the race, and but Matt Watkins has the field cover right now. He's a little squirrely there. He's still driving the wheels off the car. He's certainly not in conservation mode by any means.
Hell no. That guy is like I said, he's wringing the neck out of that thing. If he tries anything else, probably would be unnatural, you know. Aside from ovals where, you have to, pace yourself. Okay, I'm watching the 151. He just pounded the inside wall. I think he missed his pit stop going in turn 11. Upset and disconnected there. Pretty late over there for Chicago guys.
Yeah, and we can
About
see
12
a
o'clock
lot
in
of
the
guys
morning.
having problems now. The 15 and the 18 have cleared each other, cleared themselves from the field. A 5-second lead for Matt Watkins over Robert Bokum, and then another almost 7 seconds back to Sean Johnson in third. But looks like we got maybe a little race here brewing between the 303 and the 101.
And the 18 is catching the 15. I don't know what's going on here, but he's getting them. Catching a second a lap now.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see that interval as they come around for lap 13. Right now, at lap 12, it was a little over 5 seconds. But Matt was driving that car very hard. I saw the back end get a little happy, and when the back end gets happy with this tire wear, it's punishing.
Oh.
And you see the
your teammate, the 101, Alan Myers, a little long of the tooth there in turn 5, but
I think he's
what a great team that's going to be with you and the two Cajuns.
The three Cajuns.
The three Cajuns. I think Voodoo Motorsports is going to put
Robert
a hex on you.
Robert Bokum
yes, he did.
A second and a half off of that last
yes,
lap.
Yes, he did.
So
it's only a
catching the 15.
Only a 3.8 second gap now from 5 seconds. So Robert making some inroads. I think Matt Watkins maybe abused these tires very early, and now he's seen that he's got a lot of laps left, and he's got to take it easy. And you can see he got very squirrely again.
Oh, he let loose. So did the 18.
That's comfortable territory for the 15. He's not. He's scared.
I hear you, Milty, but but with a 4X punishment, that is not what you want to do.
Let's see how it pans out here.
And we can see Robert getting real squirrely coming out of 10.
Yeah, he wants Robert is getting every single little bit he can out of that car right now. He really smells it. He smells it.
He smells blood, yep.
He smells the king of the hill. He wants it. Let's see if there's a difference in the gap right now.
3.8
no,
to
he actually
4,
lost some time there. He actually lost
4.2, so he lost 4/10 of a second there.
I think he needs to settle his tires down and just run a couple laps and see if Matt continues to drive aggressively. But I think he also knows there's only 4 laps left, so got to give it all.
Yeah, I mean, Matt Watkins would have gobbled me up at Le Mans had he not put it off and wrecked the car. You know, he was gobbling me up lap after lap. It was inevitable. So
here you can see Matt's about halfway through the S's. Robert just entering the S's. So Robert might be getting glimpses of him on the track, though. And sometimes when you can see the car in front of you and you see it getting bigger, it can pump you up, too.
Yeah, I see him. Time to push.
As he go around the carousel there.
Matt's position, he needs to hit his marks. Robert's the one that's got to make up the gap. So what you want to do is not make a mistake and give up time by pushing too hard. Hit your marks, and he is solid as a rock. You watch him go through the S's. Turn 2, turn 3, nice and smooth.
If they finish
don't care about the 18.
If they finish currently where they are, Matt Watkins will have a 1-point lead over the 18.
Go figure.
I'd like to say I'm
go get some more beer, man.
Yeah, I'd like to say I'm surprised to hear that, but I'm not. Trying to find some battles here on the track with Matt with almost a 5-second lead and a huge gap to third. Looks like the closest race we have is the 83 and the 101. We're battling for the 5th position. Weber has it. Allen is in 6th. Can the rookie run down the veteran here with 2 laps remaining?
Well, you look at P3, Sean Johnson, what could have been and what still could be with a miracle, but you still cannot deny the skill and the talent. Put him in a solid P3. Had things gone well in the first race, it'd have been a factor.
It's going to be some interesting strategy here because the 5, the 18 and 15, of course, if they finish in this order, will not be allowed to qualify in the next race, which would leave some teammates up front. Like the 303 would be up there for Bochum, and the 83 would be up there for Matt. So they'd have some help.
And it looks like some guys were just too hard on their equipment, and they're going to have to make second stops here. With 2 laps to go, Alan Myers in the 101 was pressing Weber for the 5th position and had to give it up.
It's a process, man. These guys are professionals, man. I mean, these guys are studs, but they're seeing their limitations right here.
Absolutely.
But they're going to learn. Alan's going to learn from this. He's got, less than a year in sim racing, period, and he's a world-class driver already. You can imagine where the 101's going to go.
We see the white flag waving for our leader, Matt Watkins. And so he's got one more circuit of this road course, and he'll take home the checkers. Robert Bochum,
runs for
Sean Johnson.
The 83 and 88. They got to finish the deal, but Joe, after being a factor there and blowing the tire, he's still running solid, looking.
Yeah, Joe Cutt with a great run in 6th position. Not really on the road course radar in Pro Cup, but you can see he's running a solid race, a smart race, and that's what you got to do at road courses. You got to run smart, not fast.
Well, you see how these guys are not remiss to learning, because every race, like the last season races, watching these guys, and they remember, and you're watching cars like this. We broadcast the Friday night race, Winston, and I was lucky to get like a top 5 there. And the skill level of the field is just exponentially grown.
And Matt Watkins is your road course winner at Infineon. He takes a nice 5-second victory over Robert Bochum. Sean Johnson will finish 3rd. As he just crosses the line, we're still racing here, even though the leaders have taken the checkered flag. There we see the 99 limping home in 8th. I'm sure disappointment for Pops. And the 303 with another top 5 finish. Ken Ron will bring it home in 4th. Milty, Steve Webb in 5th.
Ken Ron, just another guy that has just improved his skills exponentially. And like you said, when you think about the road course radar, you don't think about P4 being the 303, and there he is. So.
Yep, there he is, and 88 to finish in 6th. 83 of Steve Weber, 5th. So those guys did what they had to do to gain max points. Matt Watkins, Robert Bochum, Sean Johnson, top 3. So they will not be able to qualify at Talladega. Where maybe if I'm going to choose a course not to qualify on, it'd be Talladega. So that would probably be your least punishing track to qualify at. So good job by those guys knowing what they needed to do to max out their points on the road course. They did a great job. The final guys here wrap up this running order here as the race is now official.
Yeah, I'll be back. You guys.
Rounding out that top 10, the 101 Alan Myers had a great run, but looked like maybe a little too hard on the equipment. Had to make a second stop, but finished very well. Would have been on the lead lap if not for that last stop. Pops Marguson again, 8th place. The dog Palmer with a top 10 road course finish against some of the big boys. So that's something to be proud of, dog. Good job, 9th place. And the rest of the guys had issues. Ran it off the course, or looks like maybe blew up. And that's Guy Petra, Jeff Stone, Mark DeSenza, and T-Roy. All had some incidents and issues. So they'll have to live to fight another day as we head to our final event and that's the Talladega NRT 500 track, which is a two-groove track. So you can get that line moving on the outside, you might be able to do some damage.
We are sure running late. This is the latest one I've ever had, and I don't know why. Maybe we're going to be changing something next race. We'll shorten this up a little bit. I think it's the practice times in between.
Yeah, probably we could do a 5-minute practice with a 5-minute happy hour to at least give them 10 full minutes of practice.
Yep. I think that's what we might be doing next time.
Save you about 15, 20 minutes.
Going to use it tonight, actually. As soon as we're done with the races tonight, I have to head out to the door and jump in the truck and head over to Salisbury, North Carolina. Is that where Salisbury Steak comes from? Salisbury?
It might be.
I don't know. North of Charlotte.
I've been known to eat a Salisbury steak or two in my time.
Kind of like them things. I forgot what they taste pretty good.
So Matt Watkins showing some muscle here with a great win at the throwback track of Homestead, and then winning on the road course. So 2 victories for Matt Watkins out of the 3 races, and that's what the King of the Hill does. He wins races.
Well, let's see what happens and how teamwork plays into the next race. It's going to be almost imperative these guys have some help to do this, and we are going to have just probably a 1 or 2 point separation between the top 2 or 3. So I'll be getting to that points in a second here as soon as they switch the track over for it.
And I do see that Guy Petra and Mark DeSenza have left their racing channels. I don't know if they had to cut out because, like we said, it is a little late on the East Coast there. We're hitting midnight on the East Coast. So some of these guys might have to wake up early for good old Monday morning. So that can affect this final race with Robert Bokum losing a teammate and also Matt Watkins losing a teammate.
And they still have 1 teammate each, though, so this is going to be very interesting.
And I also noticed that Joe Cutt in the Monsoon channel. Of course, we know that Joe Cutt is a free agent. He was the last member to join Monsoon, and I guess the way they decided it, if they're not, like you said, maybe breaking up entirely, is tenure kind of thing. And Joe Cutt was the bottom guy in the totem pole, so he has become an official free agent. But I see he's in the channel, so maybe a little loyalty there by Joe Cutt.
He might make the difference in the game. We'll see.
You never know. It would be a 3-on-3 as far as Boca Motorsports and Monsoon would be concerned. And that, like you said, Sam, on Talladega, you're going to need friends.
Well, we're talking about only about 10 or 11 cars here for the final race. We always have a drop-off of 4 or 5 cars at the final race. People usually at this time realize that they're not in the mix and they don't have a chance of winning it, so they jump out. And like you said, they go to work early in the morning, so that's, like me, I'll be going to work very shortly. But I'll be back home by the time most people are going to work. So.
And you'll be going to bed when everyone else is getting up to go to work.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I know that feeling. And here we are, our last track of the night. Super Speedway, Talladega. Known for the big one and known for the fastest, well, now the second fastest lap ever in NASCAR. Bill Elliott, back in 1987, hit 212 miles an hour on this piece. And then they said, maybe we should put a restrictor plate on these things. It'll be fun.
Yep.
And the rest is history.
Awesome Bill from Dawsonville is the one who started plate restriction racing. He was too fast.
And he was crazy fast, too. And back in those 80s, late 80s, drivers were drivers then. They had only one concern, that was winning. And if it meant driving through 3 guys to win, they'd drive through 3 guys. And we see these guys on the broadcast now, like Rusty Wallace and and you see Bill and Chase Elliott and stuff like that. You forget how fierce competitors they were. They didn't like each other. None of those guys liked each other then. They might say they like each other now, but I can tell you from seeing it and watching it in person, they did not like each other. And they would do whatever it took to keep that guy behind them. And if that meant wrecking, then sometimes they took the wrecks into their own hands and took care of business.
And you remember back then, I think it was the 80s, it wasn't quite the 90s yet, when we didn't even have pit road speeds. We'd come in at 150 miles an hour and just brake to a stop and hope you didn't hit nobody. Yeah,
it was actually, I fondly remember it because one of my childhood hero, Dale Earnhardt, was one of the best at coming off of the racing surface under caution with the pace car doing, let's say 50, 60 miles an hour, and just flooring it down pit lane and lighting up and locking up and sliding perfectly to a stop. And those guys knew that yellow flags were huge times to gain position back then with the competition so tight. And yeah, unfortunately, I think that was another Bill Elliott incident that I'm sure he's not wants to remember, but he lost it at Atlanta and slid down pit lane, and unfortunately had contact with another car that was being serviced, and unfortunately one of the crewmen was killed. And of course that ended the unlimited speed down pit lane, just like restrictor plates and just like Hans devices. Fortunately, a lot of this stuff comes around from tragedy.
Yeah, I do know several rules and modifieds that were implemented because of death. So it's unfortunate that that's what it takes sometimes for us to fix a problem like that and to make it more safer is for, unfortunately, our heroes to die. So
yeah, it's a shame. Knowing some of these guys in being lucky enough to actually talk with them in person, and not in just racing terms, but these guys are a different breed, and the danger is something that they might not talk about a lot, but they know it's there, and it's just part of the business. And a lot of these guys that grew up in racing have seen lots of tragedy, and it toughens you up when you're young to see something like that. And if you see your daddy is a race car driver and you're a little kid, that's what daddy does. And you see daddy's competitors blow up sometimes and wreck really bad, and you're wondering if your dad's going to be the next one to wind up in a ball of twisted metal. So then when you get older and you decide to drive, it's already in your blood and you can't help it.
I'm getting ready to put points up.
Yeah, so we're getting ready for our point totals going into this final race as we're riding with Robert Bokum around Talladega. 2.66 miles. It's a long track, and it's fast. As you can see, he's up to about 189 miles an hour in the turn. That will bump up slightly in the straightaways, but with these restrictor plates, it's all about draft, and it's all about having partners. And it's also the great equalizer where rookies and pros alike can run the same speeds. So it's a crapshoot, and if you get your car out front at the right time, it can take you all the way to victory lane. As I was fortunate enough in the Super Speedway Series running with the best of the best to find myself in the first position with the help of a couple friends. I was able to hold off the big boys and steal a win there, so which is definitely my best win considering the competition, and just proves that any given night on a super speedway, being in the right place at the right time can get you a victory.
Without a doubt. And like you said, it is a great equalizer. I have the points now, and the points are up. It's Matt Watkins does have the point lead by 1 point. He's got 127 over the 18, who has 126. Back about 9 points is the 99, 117. He's in third. Great showing for Pops. 303 is 114. 151 is 113. And 101, Alan Myers doing a great job at 110. He's tied with the 6 and the 83, who all have 110. Then the 5 is down there with 108. 88 is 106. 1796, 108 is also 96. And the 129, Jeff Stone, 93. The rest of the guys are pretty much out of there, but
yeah. I don't want to say. I'd say Pops still has a gunfighter's chance here.
Both the 303 and the 99.
Yeah, if they can get out front and have something befall the 15 and the 18. That can certainly make up 9 points. That's just 9 positions, and there's going to be more than 9 cars. So if an engine blows up, gear goes out, you never know what can happen here.
Or the big one.
No fat lady singing.
That's right, or the big one.
And these guys are starting in the back. So the 15, 18, and the who else is it?
The 5.
The 5 car. They'll be starting in the back. So Bokum will have a teammate back there with him.
Well, it's good.
Yeah, I'm going to eat in about 10, 15 minutes.
In this race, he knows he's got no chance to win the championship, but you get to know the character of drivers and people, and longtime friend, and just a lover of the racing and of being a part of it. I mean, if you wanted to design a sim racer, you would name it Pops Markson, probably.
We're also taking into account Pop's age. To be doing this at our age, in our later years, this is. A lot of people make fun of it, but you come out of this thing sweaty sometimes, and you come out of it using a lot of effort. And Pops is definitely always just proven himself. I'm always around him on road courses and short tracks. And so me and him are very close in competition, and it's always fun racing Pops. He's absolutely one of the cleanest, funnest drivers out there, and he's also one of the toughest guys to pass. A lot of people move over for you. Pops is going to give you trouble until he's a lap down, and he's not going to just give it up. So he's fun to race. He's very competitive.
Look at that pit stop.
Yeah, this little monsoon practice there. It looked pretty good until it didn't. But yeah, this is again.
That's what they do. They push the envelope. They know to back it off just a hair for the real deal. But that's still crazy shit right there.
Yeah, and no one's ever accused Matt Watkins of being a square either. He likes to have a little fun on the track when it's in practice or happy hour. But come race time, that certainly changes.
Well, and I think as a champion, because I can remember, right now in my career and the time and the way FSB now is, everybody loves Milty, but I remember a time when I was winning all the time, not everybody loved Milty. So, I think a guy that dominates a lot of time can get misunderstood a little bit, and it's, it's the level of competition, and also, but like I always say, the proof's in the pudding. The replays are there. The races are there. The broadcasts are there. If you want to really watch, all you got to do is watch. You watch this broadcast tonight, you can see how he's beat the competition. It's not smoke and mirrors. It's execution, skill, speed, smarts. And of course, this thing ain't over, but it's all right there, man. We're all legends in our own mind, until and until we think we should be able to beat everybody, and we realize that we have to adapt, And I know in my sim racing career, I've had to adapt. What did it for me back in the early years would put me in last place in this league. I guarantee it.
Yeah, probably would have been kicked out a long time ago, actually, Milty.
Well, that too, yeah. We don't want to go there, man. Do we have enough time for this?
Yeah,
we got like a 3-pack of tall boys.
Yeah,
came back, and you guys are still talking. So.
Thankfully, this is a short race. So
good thing my
we don't
liquor
have
store
enough
is
time.
real short. I gotta get up like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Save that for the season, Milty. We've got plenty of races.
Yeah, 10-4.
I'm looking forward to that each season, the broadcasts of the Pro Cup, because and my families are going to be watching, and friends, and it's just really cool to know people are out there that are cheering me on.
Oh, absolutely, and that's why we do it. We want to give people a chance to watch that may not realize how exciting it is. That funny story. My mom, 78 years old. Says, what's all that, what's that wheel, and what the hell is all that stuff? And I said, it's like simulated driving. I said, it's as real as you can get without being in a race car, or pretty close. And she's like, anyone can do that. So I put the old 78-year-old woman behind the wheel of a 850 horsepower BR Cup stock car. And after about 6 loops and 3 wall kisses, she finally was able to find the track. And she had no idea that when you step on the gas, the thing goes. So it was a pretty funny experience. But yeah, this is if you just show up and say I can drive, you're going to be in for a rude awakening.
Yeah.
We had some real racers from Riverhead Raceway, some friends of mine that I grew up with that I talked into getting the game back with EVD Racing and getting on. Oh, they were so sure they were going to be so good. They gave up in 2 weeks. They were done. Threw away the game, the wheel, and all. These are real race car drivers.
Well, it's a simulation. It's like a real race car driver is living in the 4D world, where he's got 3D plus the seat of his ass, And when I put my dad on the PlayStation thing I had, of course it was PlayStation. He put the steering wheel in his seat, and he was like, "Well, I can't feel the car, Where's the clutch, I mean, there was a lot of things for, Of course, I think if he'd lived and got to experience more of a simulator type atmosphere, which the way my rig is now, where you could sit in a real racing seat and have the direct line of sight to the, whatever view you drive, then you can start to, use, because you only got 3D, you got sound, you got visual, and you got the feel from the wheel instead of that 4th dimension where you got the the seat of your ass, which that's why real is different than simulation. But at the same time, we see over and over again that we see Formula One trains, tests on it. Guys come from PlayStation and drive real race cars and finish first in class and at Le Mans in the LMP2 division the last couple of years. Seen one of our own drivers miss by 1 spot to get a shot at the real car. So
we got
you can't throw a stick at it,
All right, we got these times coming in. I just got a note, by the way, from Sean Johnson, who said the weather is really bad by him. The weather has been affecting almost all of his King of the Hills. He's very frustrated because that's why he got dumped early. He got knocked out. Jeff Stone is going to take the poll. Jeff Stone and Alan Myers. Good for Jeffrey Stone. Awesome.
How about that, huh? Got 2 rookies. You got an all-rookie front row. That's what I like seeing.
But you talk to the guy right away. You understand, number one, he's really cool, and instantly just you start bullshitting with him on TeamSpeak. He's just hanging out with the guys. You get that feeling out of guys, and then you see, and you can't shake a stick at super speedway and say like anybody can do it, and oh that's different. There's a skill set there. I take a lot of pride in my super speedway racing, and it's damn ass hard going 200 miles an hour.
It is
right up the ass of somebody else, and you can't even see where the hell you're going. And so you know, it's that's the greatness of this show right here.
Absolutely, and in that IROC challenge, which we just had here at Talladega with no restrictor plates. It was a 94 lap affair here at Talladega. It was a demanding race, and I think I barely could lift my arms at the end of the race. I was so white knuckling it toward the end there.
I got some strategy for you guys playing out here real quick. Before this race starts, I want to show you guys. We have the Ken Run. Remember, I asked at the beginning of the drivers' meeting. I asked that if you were on the handicap list and you were told not to queue, that everybody else please queue, even if it's a slow lap. So go ahead and just take a slow lap so you can queue, so we can really pin these guys to the back. And this is what I asked for the drivers' meeting. But if you want to see the strategy, Ken Ron has elected to start in the back, but he wanted to be back by his teammates to help them out because he's out of it, and he wants to help Robert Bokum get this win. And you're going to see 3 cars fighting Matt Watkins and Steve Weber and maybe Joe Cutter there. So this is going to be very, very interesting.
I agree. We saw Joe Cutt in the Monsoon Channel, even though he officially declared free agency. So Joe Cutt showing some allegiance still to the Monsoon boys, and looks like he'll be him and Weber will try to push Watkins to his 3rd win, and while Ken and Sean try to push Robert to his 1st. So that should be very interesting to see.
Any of you folks who are not familiar with what we're talking about, this particular race, the super speedway race, drafting is huge, and you want to have help, and you can be on the outside, and if you don't have any help, then you're going to go backwards. This pretty much looks like it's shaping up to be a three-man battle with Jeffrey Stone, Alan Myers, and Jim Marguson, Jim and John Palmer all being the wrenches. So we're going to see what if anything, the monkey wrenches thrown into the works here have to do with it, and what teammates and teamwork will do to forge a win, possibly Robert Balcom's 1st win in the KOH or Matt Watkins' record 3rd.
Yeah, and then and you got, there's a little snag in the middle of that. There's going to be a pit stop, so you know you cut your grandma off, but at the same time you take your buddy's grandma with you to try to execute that pit stop and come out together and be able to draft together. Because you see this pit stop, and we see whoever comes out in front with buddies are going to own this thing.
Absolutely. And we see the Bokum team, Robert, Sean, and Ken, practicing those pit stops. I think they recognize that, look, this is only a 10-car field. It's going to be a 10-car pack this whole race, except come green flag stops. The question is, do you pit early? Do you ring it out completely? Do you pit with others other than your teammates to get actually more cars in your draft? Or do you try to separate yourself as the 3-car pack from the rest of the field? We'll see.
Well, it's time to put yourself on the street corner. The first car that pulls up, you're going to hook up, man.
Yeah. We're going to be...
Hey, baby, you want to pit?
Yeah,
don't care what team
as DW, as I love saying, and DW, I think is the first one to coin the phrase. It's co-opetition. You gotta cooperate with your competitors to both achieve the goals that you want to. You could be the fastest. I mean, no one's faster than anyone else here with the restrictor plate. So if you want to get faster, you need another car, and if it's not your teammates, it needs to be someone. and if they don't like you, then you're not. Trust me, being a rookie and being surrounded by pros, the pros tend to gravitate to pros, and they don't like the rookies running with them. They get nervous. They don't really get a good feel on how they're driving because they're not driving with them very often. And so you can see that even non-team pros tend to go with the pros. So we'll see Alan and Jeff probably left on an island there. Defend for themselves.
It depends on, it depends, man. I mean, these guys are no dummies, too. They understand that these new guys are very skilled. And so, in a track like this, you can see the experience. What it's going to come down to is not that first run. Everybody, just about everybody in this league can run wide open at Talladega and survive until that pit stop. That's where the men are men and the sheep are afraid, you know.
Yeah, and we saw heavy practice on the pit stops, so these guys know which side the bread is buttered on. They know that pit stop is going to win this race or lose this race.
That's what I tell everybody, that your pit stops are going to make or break you in these King of the Hills. That's without a doubt.
And we fondly remember back to the first race of last season. I was fortunate and kind of lucked into winning Daytona with a no tire stop at the end, and was able to hang on as the draft was slowly bringing me in. We ran out of laps, luckily, and I won. And of course, we very fondly remember the great Pro Cup Daytona race with our own Milty stealing it from Matt Watkins with a questionable pit stop, to say the least.
It was a race of my lifetime.
But we do,
I had to pull it off.
We do know that the timing and scoring official has been fired from that race, though. So we don't know if that has anything to do with that questionable decision to let Milty fly into the pits at 150 miles an hour. But
well, I took a picture, and I
checkered
think
flag
I was going
nonetheless.
about 85 over the line. So.
Yeah.
Another thing that plays into this race, cause is that we have no worries about gas whatsoever, as long as you pit within your window sometime. But it doesn't matter when you pit on this race. So it could be the first 5 laps, or it could be at the 18th lap.
That's right, and that could play.
No tires, Sammy, or do you want to get 2?
I'd get 2. You can get 2,
because
it's
not
4X.
Necessary.
No, it's 3. This one's 3X, and it shouldn't have any effect really on the tires. It should have no effect on this race.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you're gonna get enough fuel, at least a full can, you might as well take 2, because one can and
will hold you back.
Yeah, 1 can and 2 tires are about the same speed of pit stop, so might as well take 2 fresh ones if you have no choice.
This is kind of a small field. It's the end of a long deal, but this league has had over 100 drivers before. It's been down on numbers, but right now the quality level of drivers, you get 15 cars out there, you're looking at anybody can win there. So new drivers looking at a league. This is really a quality league to get treated fair and to have great competition. It's all about the competition. Every time I show up, any result I get on the track is a result of, because I know I'm racing against good competition. So take a look at us,
Yeah, and these races, when we had 7 back in EDD racing, we had 100 cars. We maxed it out, and it was very easy to max it out. People, word got out, but we didn't have but 4 or 5 quality drivers. Here, you have 55, 60 quality drivers. That's what makes FSB the difference, and that's why it's as strong as it is. And Jeffrey Stone is going to lead the first lap.
How about that?
Fantastic.
I like seeing I like seeing some new fresh faces at the front of a pack, and Jeff joined last season about maybe 3/4 of the way through as an applicant. Ran some Cup and truck races in the rookie series, and formed his own team in the off season. So you can see he's got some new paint there, and I think it's
got nothing to lose.
Bad Dog Racing.
Win this race, man.
That's right.
So
That's all that
hang it
matters
out,
to him
boy.
right now is winning this race. And we can see it's getting a little dicey there with Alan and Pops there. Looks like Alan
looking high.
Yeah, Alan rooted Pops out of the groove there.
That's gonna be good. Ooh, boy.
Let me tell you, from running this, you can leapfrog by yourself, like Pops was just trying to do. You can leapfrog to the outside and just jump in front of the car in front of you by the slingshot. I was doing it last race. I was having a great time leapfrogging up. I leapfrogged about 4 cars before I got taken out in a big wreck. But
yeah, I remember that fondly, Sam.
Dog in 5th there. He wants, he's got nothing to lose here. He really wants to get a win on the big stage here. Already a world champion in the FSB division trucks. As
we have 2 on the outside. We have the 5 and the 18
and
coming around the outside.
Do this, man.
Yeah, the 5 and the 18 taking that high line. 303 Ken Ron. Actually, right in front of Mal Watkins, who's really biding his time right now.
A smart thing, I think, to do in this point, this is my opinion, would be just kind of wait for the first pit stop and just get kind of lined up. But they're getting raced out here.
Alan Myers gets a little loose there.
Yeah, I think he's been.
No harm, no foul.
He's getting some really stout runs right at the end of the straightaway on Pops, and I think he's needing to lift a little, And when you lift on these cars, sometimes they tend to push. So
see the 15 in the back there going, come on, guys.
Yeah, no wrecks, guys.
15 and the 18 are looking at that outside line. But it's not going to develop here this early yet.
No, but I think Matt.
But it will at the end.
I think Matt's willing to stay right where he can keep an eye on the 18 as well, because really it's not a race for the win. If you're Matt Watkins, it's a race to stay ahead of the 18.
Pretty much.
Well, John the Dog Palmer, his grandma watches, and his niece, and he's got family watching all the time racing here, and he's really got a shot at this race.
Oh, absolutely. He's sitting right where you need to.
This is Dog's kind of track, and so I mean he's gonna if he's gonna pull it out here, he's gonna need a little help maybe with this pit stop. Let's see how good Dog does in fact. Know that John's been working on pit stops, so we'll see if this pays off today. And we just had a minute there where the 15 did look to the outside, but he came back down.
And you see the guys have pretty much stayed single file on the bottom. Usually the preferred line on super speedways is right around that yellow line at the bottom. Some tracks do develop a second groove, but you do need some cars to commit to it, and as we've seen in other super speedway broadcasts, guys, unless it's strict team rules, guys are very hesitant to stay on the outside with someone, even if it looks like you're gaining ground. It's just a stigma of the outside line, and guys tend to abandon it as quickly as they jump on it.
You won't see me anywhere but the outside line. I love it out there.
Well, and it can be productive when you have over 20 car fields. When you're under 20 cars, but you're still not going to lose time. It actually is kind of a safe zone. You see those guys running the outside line, they fall back in line and get the draft. They're just kind of showing out there, get good, clean air, and.
One thing I am seeing though that is I think going to hurt Stone at leading is he's leaving a lot of room, and knowing how these guys drive, especially the 88, if he sees that opening on the inside, he's going to stick his nose in there, and maybe a little early for it right now, but if there's an opening with the super speedway racing, you got to take it, because you don't get a lot of opportunities to pass.
Well, we're getting 1 lap to halfway mark right now, so we're almost to halfway already. So pretty soon we should be seeing some pit stops.
And who's
going to do it first?
Yeah, Daytona. I drive in car, so I look at there's a building on the left-hand side. Talladega is a little different. You got to go through, but there's still visual markers you want to pick up. to nail your pit stop, and you saw these guys practicing that. You know, obviously you can see they can all run together. This is gonna be the race right here.
And we see that Bochum and Sean Johnson have remained on the outside by themselves and haven't lost any ground. Less than 1 second separating first through 10th. So
what I see from them is they're going to run it out, and they're going to pit together, teammates. The best you can ask for is one draft partner. So if they can stay out there and go another lap while these other guys pit, maybe they'll crash and they'll improve their position. They're definitely working to get the 18 past the 15. That's the race for the championship.
Absolutely, and we see the running order here at the front has remained almost the same since lap 1.
Nothing on the scanner.
Jeff Stone continuing to lead laps, and he's closing in on leading the most laps of this race, which will take a point away, obviously, from the leaders. They have not led laps, and like you said, that one bonus point could play a role. So is this maybe a Bochum strategy? Is we'll stay out and I'll get a cheap lead lap, and then we'll pit the next lap. And that gives him a bonus point, which when it's 1 point separating, that's huge.
That's the deal. Yep.
He is in front of Sean Johnson, so if the field pits and they stay out,
so
he'll
he's
grab
still ahead of them. So, and he knows what 99 is pitting.
99 is posted to pit, and the scanner says the 101 and the 88 are all pitting at the same time.
And
so we have the group cars, the front.
Down in
wow, they came in very hot, though.
Way too hard.
Oh, that was way too fast.
And the 101 sliding into the grass, and that will effectively end his race. It looked like the Pops, though, was successful, but he's all by himself now.
Daytona is so much easier. You come off the corner, you got like 1001, 1002, you got to stop. Here with the tri-oval, for me as a driver, Talladega is much harder to pit.
Jeff Stone is pitting.
Yeah, so we got our leader signaling
the leader
pit.
is pitting.
Joe Cutt looked like he was going to come in, but stayed out. So let's see if he comes in now.
New to the league, he's got pro drivers right behind him. Pressure is on. Time to execute.
Him and the dog pit. And
yeah, and it looks good.
Dog loses it.
Dog out. Sean Johnson out. Robert Bochum in.
Fantastic. I think he was down the speed there. Very well done. He had the world champion, Robert Bochum, right on his ass, and he didn't flinch.
And there we see Robert going into the pits.
That's impressive shit right there. Come on,
Watkins has stayed out.
Watkins is pitting next lap.
Into his stall.
It's a group of 4 cars, and it's 3 Monsoons and 1 Bochum.
129, gas only for the 129.
83 is pitting.
And he's off and going. The 18 gets by him on pit road. The Bochum Motorsports team with a great pit stop.
And the rest of our leaders coming in, and there's contact between Ken Ron and Joe Cutt. And they go off. Steve Webb and Matt Watkins successfully negotiate pit road. So Matt Watkins will have a teammate as he gets fired back up. The question is now, who had the better one?
Robert needs the 125 to get 129 to get behind him and racing. He's got Pops too.
Yeah, and they're gonna hook up.
Car battle right here.
They will hook up. Looks like the 5 is out of it.
Come on, Pops, get in line with him.
The 99 and 129 are hooked up, and they have already closed the gap to the 18. So we got a 3-car train there as Pops comes in.
Oh, Pops goes back in.
He might have got a black flag, possibly.
I think Pops got a dinger right there.
So
129 all over the 18. I think he's gonna bump him and help him.
The 83 and the 15 came out together. So we got
right here.
So yeah, so we got the 83 and 15 in a tandem, and the 129 and the 18.
Coming up on them.
Super Speedway Racing makes strange bedfellows. We got almost a true rookie to the league. Hasn't really raced in official competition, and the great Robert Bochum, 500-time champion.
Look at him, he's drafted. That's just what I'd be doing. This guy's got some skills right here. Welcome to FSB. The fans get to see what
absolutely
you do when you join in this league.
And you can see that they are hunting down the
83 is going to give the lap and the point to the 15. Watch this, folks. That gives the point to the 15 that could win this event.
And the 15 does take the lead, and but the 18 and 129 are going to catch them. There's still 5 laps remaining.
The 83 knows, but the 83 lost momentum. Oh, they get loose going around him, but they execute it, and now they're going to execute the 15 here. Come on. This is
I don't know what
tonight, folks. This could be a tie. Depends on, and I've never had a tie in this. I don't know what to do, folks. It'd be 2 trophies.
Well, you got to go back to. After finishes. You have to go back to other statistics.
Well, if we're going by wins, obviously Mal Watkins with 2 wins tonight, so that gives him the edge over Robert. But yeah, we'll have to maybe it might have to be rock paper scissors.
What that's
the stat that would win it would be to win.
Get changed.
The stats would win it, but right now, all the 129 is the 18's best friend because if he stays where he's at, the 18 will win the championship.
Man.
The 129 can actually win the King of the Hill for the 18 tonight.
That's right, because he'll take that point from Matt Watkins, but Matt Watkins is coming right back onto him, and he does have help from his teammate Steve Weber. So as soon as Watkins decides to go high, he'll have a partner, and there we go.
Monsoon versus Bochum and Rookie.
You'd think the edge would go to Watkins and Weber with the experience, but
Jeff Stone is drafting fantastic.
Yes, he is.
This guy knows what the hell he's doing.
I like seeing it. And he's got he's sandwiched between the two, maybe the two premier FSB drivers right now. And
he did some practice at Le Mans.
Plus, now they're catching some lap traffic.
He had some honeydews to do with his wife, but
we're going to have the 5 in the mix here, folks.
Yeah.
The 88. So
there we see the 5 on the high side. He's letting them race. They all go by Sean Johnson, but he may be able to join this group along with the 88 of Joe Cutter, another Watkins teammate. So this is not over by any means.
This is going to be quite a finish. There's going to be 3 laps to go with the line. 3 laps.
Where's Joe going to go? Is he going to go low or high? Because he's got Bochum behind him, so the 5's going to want to go with the Bochum boys. What's the 88 going to do?
I believe the 88's going to help that that Bochum team.
Well,
it's going to be 4 against 2.
Yeah, we'll see if Joe Cutt stays high. Right now, they're staying high with the 15 and 18, and Matt Watkins is almost drawn even with the 129 now as they get into the turn. This is where the inside line usually has a slight edge. And as we get back to this straightaway, the outside line will pull back in.
Jeffrey Stone, welcome to FSB, and guess what? This guy can drive.
Yeah, I would fully expect Sean to drop down low and help the 18 car, but I also expect the 88 to stay high, so we'll have a 3 against 3 basically.
And that's what we got.
Oh no!
We have a wreck.
Oh, we got a big ass wreck.
And he's by himself.
It's back to the line right now. They race back to the line at FSB. It's Bochum. It's the 15. It's the 129. Who's going to win this race? This is the race right here, folks.
We got 1 lap after this, buddy. We're going to have to do 1 more lap, and the 15 is going to have no help. It looks like the 18 can stay where he is, the 129 behind him. The 18 will win his very first.
Yeah, as we hit
this is the race right here.
So we hit the white flag. Matt Watkins desperately.
No caution.
No.
So it is. That's right.
No caution.
I'm sorry.
I wondered what you were thinking.
I'm getting way too goddamn excited. Okay. Regroup.
So Matt's going to have maybe one final run down this backstretch. He got to get that position. Here he comes. We're riding with Matt Watkins, and Stone goes to the inside.
Go for it. Why not?
Stoney might think he can get Matt to push him to a win here too.
Son. Come on, Jeff.
He's begging Stone to go to the outside so he can push him by.
Yeah, he's got to go with it.
Oh, he moves the one.
Oh, there's a wreck.
This is going to be possibly a tie.
And Robert Bolton takes the win, and Matt Watkins second. And a wreck at the end, and a wreck 3 laps from the end. Unbelievable.
Heck with the World Cup, man. FSB Racing rocks, man. Unbelievable.
Let's
Woo! Well, that's why we show up and suit up, man. Unbelievable.
Let's take another look at that finish here.
We need to take a bunch of looks at that shit.
And we see Matt was very far. I mean, several tenths behind. And then he just got a great run down the backstretch as they separated slightly. It looked like Stone might have had some ideas of stealing the race from Robert, and that really brought Matt into the mix again.
I was bitching. You can't write this shit. You know, that's what makes racing so great. What makes racing at FSB Racing so great. And when you see it,
and there was no contact. There was absolutely
studs out there that could be running.
And looking at it again, Milty, there was no contact between the 15 and 129.
These guys raced their asses off and raced. That's unbelievable, skilled racing. Welcome to FSB.
We saw that pack of 5 here. Steve Weber got out of shape.
That's all he could do was go for it right there.
When Joe Cutt went to the end, hard contact. Wow, what contact that was. Joe Cutt will be. We'll have to check on Joe Cutt, or he might not be on the track anymore. He might have been ejected from that car when it hit the wall at 190 miles an hour.
That's why we do this shit, man. That's fantastic.
Taking a look at this finish again, Milty, I don't know if Stone's car got aero loose or because the 3 cars were as tight as you could get 3 cars, and it looked like the back end of Stone's car just went out from under him.
You got to put yourself in this position. You got these 2 guys right here, and you're like you're in the middle of a stud sandwich right there, and you want to win this race. So he did everything he needed to do. He drafted right up and showed himself at the last moment just what you need to do. Didn't go down the line, but he got a run and got in the back, was going to get in the back of the 18 and had to back off. And
we have to call a winner, guys. Let's go ahead and do that right now. We have 170 and 170 for Matt Watkins and Robert Balcom. It's a tie. Win goes to Matt Watkins for 2 wins, and Robert Balcom had 1 win. So the King of the Hill goes to Matt Watkins.
That would have to be. I would agree. That would have to be your first. Your first thing would be wins.
Yeah,
and it would be average finish second. But I think your first criteria, absolutely. I think that's a good call.
Yeah,
sucks for Robert, but that's
what a finish.
It doesn't suck for us fans because they put on a show, man.
Yeah, so Sam is going to be jumping down to the race channel, and I think he's going to be breaking the news to him as soon as the rest of the guys come up to the channel that this ended in official points tie. Unbelievable.
Well, they, obviously, just like our 11 years here at FSB Racing, rules get changed when new stuff happens, and so
that's really the only fair way to do that, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Yeah,
so that's the call from the FSB NASCAR.
Yeah, that's right. Our admin of this event, Sam Young, made the call. Matt Watkins, Robert Bolcom finishing in a dead heat in points. Matt Watkins with 2 victories at Homestead and Finion. Robert with the win here at Talladega, but that Richmond race with Ken Shea blanketing the field really threw a wrench in it at the end there, Milty?
Well, I would say that, all results are unofficial for at least 24 hours. And we've been, in our experience, we've been at the short end of some of these, like the 24 Hours of Le Mans, where we won the race and it was taken away from us. But that wasn't our league. This one here, I'm pretty sure that when you look at the statistics and your first breakdown of when you have a points tie, how you break it down, it has to come down to wins first. So that's pretty much a no-brainer.
I believe NASCAR uses number of wins as well as a tiebreaker in the old points system. So
I'm sure Jim Ray and the adminship will
absolutely
review that and make sure. But I would say that's pretty much official,
Yeah, and I won't jump down to the race channel. That's the private channel for the racers to unwind and talk about what they need to talk about. But if we could pull up Robert and Matt for just a quick chat. This is a long broadcast, but just to get their quick thoughts, maybe you could jump down there and see if they're available for a minute or two before we sign off, Milty. And what a finish. 4 races, end in a dead heat. That's FSB Racing in a nutshell. There we see the final win. And I think we will be joined by our dead heat finishers, Matt Watkins and Robert Bokum, who put on a show tonight. Man, I'm out of breath, and I didn't even race. And I think we're back joined here with Milton Sam and our two 1 and 1A in winning, Matt Watkins and Robert Bokum. Congratulations to both of you. I believe Sam will make the proclamation.
Yeah, so of course we had to make a tough decision because y'all were tied, but it had to go by next category would have been who won the most races, and that of course was Matt Watkins. And I just can't say enough about the format that you guys stayed with it. I'm literally chilled by the end of that race. That was a show. That's why we did it. You guys got to see the broadcast. And it's just a pleasure, you guys. Robert, I know you're disappointed, and I know you want one of these things real bad, but you came really, really close. Matt Watkins, congratulations. You're a 3-time King of the Hill champion.
Appreciate it. Yeah, it was crazy. First track Homestead, I was struggling, and I asked my teammates if they were shifting, because I was trying to shift, and they said it wasn't, so I stopped shifting, and I had a good pit stop, and was able to hold that, and then Richmond was a nightmare, and went to my favorite road course and won that, and then that ending was crazy. I was trying to push Jeff Stone so hard past him to get past Robert, and they barely touched, and he went spinning, and I still thought Robert won, even though Jeff went spinning, but that was crazy. Good job, Robert.
Yeah, you too, man.
So, Robert, tell us what's going on, man. I know you probably were doing the points in your head as you were coming to the end there. When you saw Matt coming zooming up again, what were you thinking?
Well, actually, I didn't know what the points was, but I listened to the broadcast, so y'all were kind of letting me know. I was just hoping Stone would come with me, and but his agenda is to win too. I should have just. I had a good car the first race. And I got the Matt, and I could have. There was one time too I could have, and then a car come off pit road that got tires or something, and I got hung up on the outside beside him and hung him behind another car, and it got Matt out there, and I just couldn't catch him, so that costed me. But I mean, the road course, I'm not a road course racer at all. Never have been, never say I will. But my agenda was just to get a good lap in and stay consistent and finish second. So I missed this thing twice already. I didn't get my daughter's dancing both times, and she dances next week. So good luck to my daughter Caitlin next week. Yeah. But so I got to run this time, and it was cool. It's definitely changes it up a little bit. making the top 3 starting the back. What was funny at Richmond was I don't think nobody wanted to start in the back of the road course, so it would probably be a good idea if you don't tell what order you're going to do them in, because even guys brake checked me at the line trying to get me to pass in the third.
We knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, we thought there might be a little strategy in play.
Well,
gamesmanship, man.
I was just
you guys
running.
know where the hell you're at. Absolutely.
Well, we started. It was me and Matt and Mark, and a wreck happened right off the bat, so we were way behind. And I just went for it. I just gave it all I had, and we started gaining, but the running as hard as I had to. I got a tire, and then Sean started falling back. I said, "What's wrong with you?" He's like, "I don't want to start up back of no road course." And I was like, "Oh well, hell, I need the points." So I don't care. It was fun. It was cool. I mean, I'm sure everybody liked it. It was definitely tenseful.
It was an awesome friggin' show.
Regardless,
Jeez.
I can say I tied for the King of the Hill. The hell with that tie-breaking shit.
There can only be one King of the Hill, folks. I can't.
We have to call a winner.
To the 2 that should have, so that's all.
Yeah, understood, man. And you know, us act is always, and you guys, you've been teammates. You're the 2 best racers in this league, and that's in every discipline. You showed it tonight. You showed it with skill, class, and you know, because to be the King of the Hill, you can't wreck nobody. You can't be impatient. You got to start in the back. You did everything on all the disciplines that sim racing offers in this league, and you guys hammered it. And what a great show! And there's no you know, bummer for being second. You know, I mean, anybody watch that shit ought to go, holy cow! I want to be part of this league.
It definitely crossed my mind to slide up a little bit, go when we were side by side around the big track. But I just don't race that way, and man, to win it that way, I couldn't do it. I'd probably pull over.
You always hate Matt Watkins when he beats you, but at the same time, you love him because you realize you're racing against the best in the world, you know, or one of the best. So when you categorize what you do in sim racing, you match it with the racers you're racing against. So
yeah,
that's the deal.
Matt's one of the best. I give it to him. But for us to run as hard as we have, side by side, many laps we ever had, and we've really never had an issue. So I mean that's big right there. I mean I can honestly say I could run side by side with this man for 300 laps.
Been a lot of dudes come in this league and run fast and couldn't execute like that. Eventually they would have to put somebody off, you know. And there's a lot of fast people in the world.
Somebody's trying to say something.
Yeah, I gotta get out of here because I gotta run to Charlotte.
Oh, well,
in a truck right now. I want to say thank you guys so much. This was really one of the best. Please go on the forum and look at the forum as to what I wrote about King of the Hill.
Yeah, big shout
how it
out
originated,
to you, Sam.
and also you'll also learn a little something personal about me in that forum that I probably have never disclosed to probably most of the world before. So you'll hear a little bit more.
I don't want to read it, but no, we really appreciate you putting this on, dude. Yeah.
You
put a lot of time and effort in there. We appreciate
Thank you, Sam.
Yeah, absolutely,
thank you guys. Thank you guys. It was worth it, and it was a fun show, guys. It really was.
And yeah, appreciate you guys putting on the show. Congratulations, Matt, 3-time winner. Something definitely to be proud of. Certainly wasn't handed to you, so you had to earn it, and you certainly did. So great job, both of you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Man, you've been working out too, man. I saw a picture of you on Facebook. You got you some guns there going on.
It's from all that sim. It's all from cranking that wheel in turn 2 all the time. All right, guys. Long broadcast. We're gonna wrap it up. Great win by Matt Watkins. 2 wins out of the 4 races, and quality finishes in the other, and that's how you become King of the Hill. Great job.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks again. Have a good night, guys.
Great show, guys.